W. Game one, baby.
There are so
Game 1 of
many
5. Game 1 of
names. You said
5.
there are 56 or so players looking to qualify for their first FNCS finals. And you can look at it glass half empty, glass half full, big names going through consistency or that game win. At least that shows that the rest
He has, yeah, bro. MDF's been around literally since the beginning.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, these group stages really make it so that anyone can punch.
All right, Foxy uncon. Nice. Okay, looks like everyone uncon so far is uncon. It was meant to be.
The players that have made FNCS,
Here comes the mommy's good boy.
There's teams in here that we didn't even get to talk about or highlight at the top. Senetto, Sales, and Blake's trio being one of them. Quanti, TK, and Freezes being another. And that's
mommy's good boy.
Of the few, but let's turn our
48 million frogs.
Crime City looks like a little bit of a contested drop here between two trios. We'll be keeping close eyes on
who's on those two trios. MDF.
These teams will eventually clash here shortly.
I need to hear mommy's good boy on the broadcast at least once today. Yes!
On low ground there, but
W!
Rain and True
Thank you, MDF.
seem to be setting up for success here. Meanwhile, on the other side, teams just touching down now.
Now we just need to get Veiny RD on the broadcast and we are happy.
Go ahead and get setted here
I'll be
at
happy.
the Demon's Dojo. One of the best drop spots. This group stage seems to have it a lot more calm than the previous seasons, it seems like.
Yeah, usually I feel like we see at least 3 teams here, 2 immediately fighting out, maybe even 2 on the outskirts.
That's nice.
But they're
We'll
taking
take that.
a slower approach. That could be because Group 1 is already done. A lot of teams been able to VOD review. Look at the little intricacies, the small difference that really kind of plays a huge role.
There's not really any big spawn fights today, by the way, chat. Not between like really big names that you guys would like really care about. So most of the really good teams in today's group are uncontested. So
only HP. Hopefully their loot in terms of weaponry is going to be good enough to be able to fight if they do want to engage, because you already see the scanners coming out.
Clix uncon. Speaking of,
within a certain distance.
Isn't it crazy how they put Clix's house in Fortnite for him? Isn't that crazy? You guys thought about that? It's like part of his icon skin. Maybe they're like, yo, we're just gonna put your house in Fortnite for you.
Success here. The lone wolf flare. I mean,
Get a taxi is rich as fuck.
It's got that natural elevation over it.
Actually, no, I don't know.
Give it to them themselves. They're gonna be
I'm actually jealous of Clix's like apartment vibes, man. I never got to do like nice ass apartment vibes.
Maji and Gavin right now have the advantage, but seems like Maj is.
But I've also never had to live in an apartment and deal with neighbors, so maybe I shouldn't be too jealous.
It's gonna come down to the exchanges. Frenzy's gonna be the first.
When Higgs joined X, he did. Announced it today, bro.
God, very nicely done already now. 3v2 situation going through here. They have someone pinned up.
You always could.
Not very many.
Apartments in Australia got terrible resale value, unfortunately.
Seems like they know exactly where he's at.
Clix win first game. Clix has apparently said on stream they don't want to win at the start. They want to practice, so could be some cope. We'll see. I think Clix's team is definitely good enough to win one of the first 2 games if they were really trying for it. Their win rate in eval and Div 1 finals, which are lobbies considerably harder than this, has been very high enough to say that if they don't win, they're probably trying not to.
The tricks underneath the sleeves are already being revealed. They're able to get the drop, but hopefully it doesn't work out against them, because that third-party team looking to get more and more aggressive on this situation, and even getting an elimination on the full trio. So it's essentially 2
Whiffy's going down.
1 trio around this location.
Doing multiple games? Nah, once you win, you got to stop playing. If you don't stop playing, you get DQ'd.
This entry taking quick care of the teams that kind of
Clix is going to win 4th game. Nice.
More arsenal. Notice, not even in the heals
Thank you, Swifty.
department, but just in the firepower too. Now they land the shots they need. They find the points they need, and all of a sudden they have the rest.
We're on con, right? Yeah, we're on con. My boy Muzz. Yeah, what's the shotgun though? Loving the meds, but
it is Muzz, Rise, and Japco returning as a trio here. You know, you love to see teams kind of stick through and have that loyalty, right? To run.
Muzz, Japco, and Rise split after placing 5th last season. We got back together just for play-ins.
The kind of example we like to see set.
Nah, it's a very NA-based stat right there.
You know, roster mania, you think the grass is greener on the other side. But you've seen they're getting back together right before play-ins. And if you look at just day 1 of Major 1, this is the team.
It ran for 30 minutes, actually. This prediction ran for 30 minutes.
Picking up key eliminations, even victory royales, they just weren't able to really keep that consistency. Ended up getting that 5th place, but this is a second chance. Rise, one of the greatest IGLs that we do have on the region, has a chance to learn from a lot of the mistakes. And because of the fact that they did stay together as a team, he doesn't have to learn a new play style. He doesn't have to learn differences of a whole nother player joining his team. So they're able to continue where they left off as we jump on over to Foxy Floodgate. Blake, Sales, and Sinetto.
I think Blake should qual today too. If Blake doesn't qual today, I would say it's an underperformance. This team's definitely good enough in this group to qual.
In terms of metal, and there's that mountain you see at the bottom right of the mini map. That's gonna be one of the best mountains on this side of the map to get your Storm Surge. So already, I feel like they're playing this one pretty well.
And I will say that's definitely a sleeper trio to keep your eyes on. Easily have what it takes to take a victory royale. And of course, none other than Jabco right now.
We're at the football field. We're at the football field.
Looking for the lurk here, but it seems like he was actually caught out in the opponent up above.
Would be the worst POI? Nah, Shogun probably, man.
Control. He's a little
I mean, Shogun definitely.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Wait a second.
Jabco unfortunately couldn't find the tags here. Where's his teammates to back him
Yo,
up?
Shiner, thanks for the 5 gifted, bro. Thanks, man.
So there it is. Rise from the other side, and they collapse.
There's
so
Rise.
quick,
Papa Rise
nice
coming in.
easy,
Who needs
it's not
fraggers?
without its damage. Jabco does have to pause here. Kind of pushed out the fight. Meanwhile, Muzz playing the side angle. I mean, Muzz, we all know, is obviously one of the best mechanically, but also accuracy as well is definitely.
Muzz got that aim.
Court. And just like that, the outskirts, the westernmost area of the map, they end up cleaning up a team.
I feel like better, man. I'm getting better.
Hide out here and might not be long.
Getting better.
It's all over. There it is. Rise has an idea.
Oh, the 72-hour cone trick. He knows. He knows.
Can't be a player under there, of course.
The 72 hours cone trick coming out in chapter 6.
So out of place for that cone. That's actually good for them.
The Arix, the Prime?
They get their surge. Whiffy, they usually find themselves up there getting surge tags, but now with a contested
Oh, epic. Thanks for 5 gifted, bro. Thank you, man.
That's just southwest
444 today. Yes, Clix will be so proud.
And you gotta give Rise all the credit. Crashing on the
11,766 to almost 12K. Thank you, chat.
Third elimination, going to show that IGLs this season are going above and beyond their typical role in a lot of these games. You're seeing it from Rise here, and we might even see it from Yamzo.
Ooh, 3 teams.
They're going to continue to play their game out as you see a third party trying to sneak up the side of the mountain. Powerless and their teammate were able to kind of spot that one out, and that's the biggest thing. When you have that amount of elevation on the side of a mountain, I feel like you should never get snuck up on.
Frag your
Yeah,
keck.
definitely.
I'm liking the Vanya shout out on NA.
Almost has this whole thing go bad, and there's actually trios on both sides. One's going to go ahead and bail out. Nice.
It's a good spot you want to fight over. There's a very important part of the map.
Here. Not looking too hot for us.
We got another team. We have another team showing up to battle over Predator Peak. Who is the Predator in this lobby?
I don't blame them, right? This is your opportunity to go ahead and find some of this surge damage while you have the opportunity to. The other trio completely disengaging off.
Thank you, Lord Pubster with the Prime.
Seems like they're content with giving it up. Talk about teams lurking on mountains. What's going on here, Hound?
Ooh. Hound might be the Predator in this lobby.
Looking to do the same.
Yeah, just
wait, no, it's different mountain. Never mind. It's not Predator Peak. Sorry, different mountain. It's normal mountain.
Eventually,
I got confused.
I know they're just barely outside of zone on the top of the mountain. They can kind of stay there for as long as possible, but they're just kind of hoping they make a mistake. If the launch pad is down there, they know that's going to be a huge.
Where's clip farming? How am I clip farming? They were fighting over Predator Peak.
There's no kneecappers. There's no gauntlets in this inventory. But luckily for them, they don't even know how blessed they just got going down the.
They're fighting over Predator Peak. There's Predator Peak Overlook and Predator Peak.
Sneaky play that they were looking for. But they gained the position on the top of the mountain. That's going to give them that vantage to kind of assess the situation of how many players are actually in and around this location.
And look, they actually have no idea. Now they figure it out, like, wait a second, they're gone. And, hey, they're going to tail them, which I still think it's pretty decent because, yes, if they get to this this edge here, you know, this is free tags here lining up. We'll see if they end up 3-2-1-ing a singular target. Pay attention to the feed.
Echo, the TL5?
But all eyes on threats.
Oh, we got the beak ramp rushes, bro.
And of course, Rapid.
Was anyone here ever good enough to actually do some of the beak ramp rushes back in the day? Don't you fucking lie. Don't you lie. Be honest.
Like, huh?
Not just like wall ramp, like actual like the fucking crazy ass edited cone fucking Thanos 8-layer bullshit. Did anyone actually ever learn how to do it? Or did we just watch the videos and be like, damn, that's crazy? Practice it for 5 seconds to give up.
Percent of their attempts, so far very, very consistent. I think actually the most consistent.
Isn't it crazy how that was like the meta for a bit?
Of any trio here on the evening,
so many wasted mats.
Them going straight to finals is there. But look at this, Jacob. We get to continue that action here. Northern Hound and Curly, and they just couldn't let up on it. They wanted this fight. They know they need the damage.
DHG with the prime of 17.
Yeah, that first one was kind of like taking candy from baby. Completely picked him off, going through the open water.
I think this team is definitely another team that could get top 10 by today. By the way, I was very impressed watching Northern yesterday in solos.
So they're just kind of stuck right now.
Dude's got crazy high sense though. He's moving quick.
Defending off well, playing defensively. Hound not getting the confidence to move in just yet. Probably listened to the huge cues from his teammate Northern and Carillion, waiting for one of them to really break the mold open and try to stretch in. And you can see they're just doing what they can on the other side. When you're in a 2v3 situation like this, you cannot take any free damage. If you put yourself in a situation, you got to be sure of it. And right now, that would have been a good...
We got to close out this 3v2, though. Come on. Come on, boys. Close it out. What's taking so long?
And do keep in mind, you're going to see a lot of new names here on the broadcast. These
are there we go.
For their first chance ever to make it to a finals of the FNCS lobby. For some, they might be in for a rude awakening. What comes with this type of territory? It's big players, it's big fights, and it's big names here. Action happens everywhere, and this is one of those ones where you could just tell that for Annonia, they don't know what just hit them, but they are putting up a
Man, they're really putting up a good fight. Holy shit. This is like Carillion, Northern, and Hound are genuinely one of the better fighting trios in this lobby. Apparently not. Oh, it's another trio. They took too long. They took too long, man. This must be the nerves. There's no way this trio took this long to close out a duo.
You saw them kind of looking around for quite a long time.
You run this 3v3 in creative, and there's just no way how Northern and Carillion take that long.
Immediately found this team fighting. Even with Northern still alive, it's just a sliver of HP.
Curse lives on. I mean, they just, like, you can't be playing like that, man. You got to close it out.
As they get just a couple of quick shots, some damage, and the fallen loot of one of the players early on. Querzy is going to try to get revived. That trio did not necessarily get the knock on this player. So they don't know he was down getting revived, but they know somebody's there. 3v2, that's a huge advantage, and I think this is going to be an opportunity for them to stay on this. This is how they're going to get their surge.
This is a long fight. We've still got 87 alive.
Serious Fire taking no chances there, utilizing that Chug Jug to go in and cap off here, allowing Azteca to go in and finish the job. You saw they had the gold rush effect from the splash too, so just such an advantage that they put themselves in here. And, you know, it was worth it, right? They got a couple tags on the previous team there, and then a singular elimination. At the end of the day, it's all damage starts to rack up here. They're trying to hunt for what's left, but Carillion and Northern are already gone.
Yeah, I saw that. They were just, I think this maybe the second revive onto Northern. They don't have HP back here. They're splitting 7 bandages between the two. Luckily, they are able to find more, but this is just a
hold for the prime. Oh, we got like nice little jazz vibes in here.
Now you're just playing for scraps. You're almost like hoping and praying you find a med kit or anything that's left over by any one of those teams.
Yeah, wait, they started calling it North America, not NA Central.
But if they can get their trio up later on as we switch on over to Brutal Boxcars, Freeze,
strange,
TK,
no?
Quanti, kind of uncontested over here.
Kind of weird for West, no? Just, there's a whole nother region on North America. That's a bit weird, no?
Not only is there a lot of loot, so if you are uncontested, you can kind of split the drop a little bit, but you know so many teams are going to rotate through and around that
foreshadowing,
so that way they can try to get in zone, especially since it is pulling to the north.
Even the broadcast pretends West doesn't exist. No, Cam's down?
It seems like Cam's already knocked.
Oh, what happened to Cam?
It's not quite going their way, but Bucke putting up a great fight here as he kind of looks to disengage right now. Finds the med kit off in the distance here, has to make a mad dash for it. Couple moments left to go ahead and pop it, but no sweat. Comes in just the nick of time here. That trio paused up in the
This is a big moment, Chad. This is a big moment. This is a big fucking deal. Not only do we get a Bucke package at the start of the broadcast, we are getting footage of Bucke live on the broadcast.
Man, oh man, not looking too hot right now for this team here. We'll see if they can go ahead and bounce back. Can't count them out just yet, though. Meanwhile, for Sand, Xanda, Envy here, they're below the surge. They have to go ahead and pick a fight here shortly. Seems like they do see Jake's team off in the distance there. And then we jump in with Clix, Iamzo, in Xset, Higgs in the mix right now.
Taking purple with the tier 1. He's a purple.
I'm sticking to their game plan from Lone Wolf to the Black Market and Magic Mosses to fighting teams nearby where the close range are long to try to get Surge. They're only 102 above.
The loadout, though. We got the gold. This is actually a good fight to be having this gold infiltrator because you can... The range on is crazy. Not that it matters, though. Oh, my God. Collateral. The Clix AR.
Collateral AR in Clix's hands proven to be very, very formidable weapon as he breaks through the box.
He ran me?
And now the full trio seeing that as a green light to go. And with one down, there's another one almost didn't take it down as well. He's barely able to slip out, but surviving for just only a few seconds longer before Higgs and Iamgo find that second elimination.
Where's Clix's pickaxe? It's the toilet paper one. I didn't expect him to use the pickaxe too much, but I'm surprised I don't see him wearing the sparks or his skin more.
Decides to go for the quick heal instead, and luckily for them, they finished this fight before those third-party teams get situated and decide to make a push onto them. But this allows that one player to go ahead and get away. Either way,
X-Head Higgs. Yup, he got signed today, bro.
The damage threshold, given that they were only 99 above just previously. So they're in a great spot here coming into the mid game. Meanwhile, Evan, Xanda, and Sandalit got into a bit of a fight here. Things are slowing down on all sides right now, and Evan not too sure where the opponent's at. He's taking the risk of walking and sneaking through the builds here. Oh, it ends up playing off. He finds Jake with a couple tags. Xanda takes advantage of the push here in the shield crack. He's on in.
He get targeted down by immediately. Not with Sparks, I don't think he would.
There, but good job slow him down, but Jake goes down, so that slow
Maybe.
play is only going to last for so long.
Poyo plays today? Nah, Poyo plays tomorrow, bro.
3v1 situation.
Hey, Marco, the team on 5?
And I think that player's finally going to go down. They're able to kind of clean up
Ooh, Blake. Nice. Let's go, Blake. W Blake. Oh, it's a good loadout. 820 above. All max mats.
And typically, I would say, hey, if you needed metal, this would be a good spot to kind of pick up any bit of that material that you might be missing. But they find eliminations better because now they're getting material.
Raiden's the 21. Raiden's Marco, Remy, Purple, Hole, DK.
Take a look at
Harris,
right here.
checking out Yag,
Aaron and Nut right
DHG,
now
Echo, Jix, Lord Popson, Akron, Jason.
through the trees
I
there.
appreciate you.
Oh, this is onto Xanda's team, who again just wrapped up that fight there.
Ooh, Violet could be a team to get a win today too.
For where Xanda being one of the few kind of trailing behind as far as this trio's concerned.
It's gonna be hard to get a win near the start though, with a lot of the good teams still in it. But I think once like a couple teams like Muzz and potentially like Bucke or Bugha and stuff start to get their wins, if Clix isn't trying, then that's gonna be the best bet.
Looking to find their way to the finals right now.
So Liquid, he's kind of always like
land over towards Flooded Frogs
here and there, man.
Zone, helping a team like this and a bunch of the other teams that are landing towards the north side of the map overall. You can see the zone.
Oh, here we go. 2 freebies. We have 276 below. We need to get the knock and then the finish. Oh. Oh no.
That is almost a must. It's a
oh no.
sacrifice. They're able to get the knock on 1, but they're still 182 below the threshold. And now
what do we do here?
About every 7 seconds, 25 damage. They
get the finish. Get the max finish.
As they get a knock on another one, but it's still
2 above.
them, barely
2
above the damage threshold with 2 straight eliminations, Monster. They're almost feeling the pressure to have to go after this third one, because at a second, yep, they drop below.
Nice.
They find the third.
Oh, they're still below though. 13 above.
They're barely above the threshold, so they know
it's looking real bad.
Sad part about it, that team was also under Surge, so the Surge is like actively taking damage that could have otherwise been sent to the team there away from them, and it was just all around a net negative. Very tough spot to be in, but hey,
here we go.
There's a lot of players.
Cam's back, baby.
Right
Cam's
now.
back.
All hope is not lost.
Blue Cam Slam back on top.
Ends up picking back up
Cam's back on 0 ping now, chat. So we'll see if
Bucke
Bucke
here,
makes
so
grands
they're
with
back in
double
the game
controller
right now,
players, bro.
Look at
Bucke
this
the God IGL.
rotate happening here. We have 4 trios on the move coming
No
up.
one shooting each other in the back. Don't shoot each other in the back. Oh, Ocus.
All around questionable. Ocus with a huge beam onto
Is his name Okistic?
A quick
It's like
shot right there is going to go ahead and give him a huge damage lead, and not only that, I was going to say a potential elimination to come, but no, the team's
raising awareness, you know,
pick him up.
normalizing it. W
Ocus.
Ocus.
There it is. The Surge ends up doing the rest. It seems like for this team, I think Ocus recognizes there could be more chances here for quick elimination.
Oh, it's because he's artistic. True. Ocus has always liked pottery.
It's just tough. It almost kind of reminds me a little
Wait,
bit
no,
of
that sounds even worse.
How slow and how impactful Storm Surge was. I know Vivid was breaking that down in the pre-show about how many players were alive.
Why did it take me so long to think of an art form?
When so many players are alive early on the game, that just increases the Storm Surge threshold tenfold. So if you're not being proactive, you're seeing even with 2 eliminations on Northern and Carillion, they're barely 100 above.
Yeah, because he's artistic.
Just on the edge of the zone, there's a lot of space for it to open up. But for now, this is where a lot of trios will find themselves trying to position themselves, and 20 finds himself the focus of it all. Broken goes down as well. This is not a great situation for a team that might not be the most healthiest coming out, and even with them being the aggressors, Hound, Carillion, and Northern have garnered the attention of other players in the lobby. You saw for a split second they were becoming the focus until it all just slowed down and stopped.
You would have thought they didn't need that much damage, but just with how quickly things are kind of going back and
It's
forth
chaos,
there,
a lot
it's
of chaos
important
here,
for them to
bro.
find that elimination. And now
There's a lot of
look at this,
teams who are
they
going to be
cap
feeling very
off on
panicked. Their
material.
surge is going to be terrible in these first couple games.
Worse just a couple of moments ago, so all that loot comes crumbling down. I wonder if they ended up picking up 20's team there as well. You saw he was just a, yep.
Bro, all that tier 1 teams are going to be chilling, man. We haven't seen Bugha at all. Have hardly seen Clix. Muz's team got that first 3 kills. Oh, Clix is fighting. Yamzo gets killed. Wait a second.
Catching up with Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs here. 3 eliminations for the trio. Already digging into those very prestigious splashes here. Kind of early into the end game right now. Yamzo, Higgs, and Clix do look like they can use a refresh here.
Yeah, typically they're able to keep those splashes alive for such a long time due to the black market, due to the lone wolf layer gold that they're able to get. You see him sneaking around, found that one on an echo, kind of saving Higgs from taking a little bit of damage. You saw earlier on before that play kind of ensued that Clix was a little weak as well. So Yamzo, the IGL. I'm talking about this season, I feel like, Monster, a lot of the North American IGLs are taking it just another step further. They're becoming kind of side fraggers for their team, especially in those front tarps where they're able to take a lot of position in the zone as it pulls all the way towards
This is a good spot for Muz.
a good chunk of the lobby.
Great spot for
Has a
Muz.
short rotation, but I feel for those players that just got that max pull.
Rises the fragger today.
Definitely. Max pull is nothing.
Oh, 500 above, no kills for Bugha.
Hey,
That's actually a good spot, man.
Capper, you should be just fine. And speaking of which,
See, Clix wouldn't have been the only sparks. Bugha's a fan.
Halfway through the rotate at the moment. Seems like they're trying to size up their next pickup here.
Exclamation mark format,
No
Scorchy.
elims right now for
It's the same format as last season, man. It's the same video.
Of the 3
Yeah, if you haven't watched for a little while,
we were keeping an eye
that video
on,
explains it.
here does have the, I'd say, about the lowest average elimination count
Oh,
per
Blake
game.
on the high ground. Come on,
Just shy
Blake.
of 5
Blake
per
called himself a
game, so
Heat Warrior in my chat
typically
earlier
picking
today,
up
and honestly,
heals
he's
towards that
very good at
very
qualifying for
last
grands.
endgame moment.
My man handles heats very well.
Sineto and Sales, they're playing for high ground right now, trying to set themselves up
beams.
for early victory royale. We'll see if it's going to be worth it going for height this early, though, Jacob.
Yeah, they were able to get that knock on the Quanti. With everybody
I
else
cursed the
having
aim,
to
never mind.
rotate in. They're kind of hoping that they kind of jump over in that position. They're able to get the revive, especially if they do have some heals, maybe a med miss smoke. Good resources will allow you to kind of make up for that blunder. Sineto goes to the front side of zone. Him and Sales are going to reconnect. So Blake, Sineto, and Sales, 8 zone Monster. They're looking to take
looking
the
good.
high ground and hold on to it. But I look at their resources at the same time, and I'm almost getting a little worried.
Oh,
This
Rivers
might
going down on
be
backside.
a
No,
little
not
too
Rivers.
early, especially if somebody contests them in the next couple of zones.
Yeah, undoubtedly. That's an early time to go for high ground right there, especially with how much they have to commit. They are going to be in
Only 13 teams alive right now, though.
And they'll have to give it up ultimately, but not without a fight, of course. 20 TK freeze. They managed to get themselves out of that. Or sorry, Quanti. I thought 20 for a second. I'm like, wait a second. I thought he got taken out, but no, Quanti, TK, and freeze very much situated here. Looking for a refresh themselves. They need more material count. Love the little pre-edit play there. Doesn't turn into.
Blake's still looking good up there. Mommy's good boy on the low ground, chat. He's still in it.
The bird's eyes view, if you will.
Muz is looking for height. Muz is looking for height. Oh, Blake, no.
Hold this high ground, and look at this. They're breaking it out. They notice some weakness in the structure, and this team doesn't really have a lot of mats to keep this connected.
I'm wondering the same thing. They look back, they're like, wait, where is it connected?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Sineto was trying to save it and realizing that we cannot waste too much time.
Oh, there's another anchor point over here. Bro, this is such a weird looking high ground.
We can check out later because they've already weakened the structure. Down below, ultimate low ground, business as usual. Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs. This is one of the team that have the utmost confidence in to dominate the low ground every step of the way. 280 above the damage threshold, still able to hold on to those splashes.
Nice.
And they find a team.
Good pressure, man.
Quickly move in, get some damage onto Aerial before they have to converge back on out. Yamzo
having the splashes in game give you so much room to play zone. It's so nice.
This is very impressive as well. Notice they've been
so much
only
space.
Using splashes. No minis, no big pots, one chug jug, right? And they're making this work, taking very limited damage. However, they are in this end game right now. And
Bugha on second high. Wait, Bugha high ground take? Bugha versus Blake, 2 of the OGs.
Big name teams are starting to fall now. Quanti TK in, freeze down at just 32 total.
Freeze is crazy max, but
the edge of zone on his tail.
Freeze survives that.
Run his way through, and he's the last alive. This is so risky, but he needs the health. He's desperate for it, and just trying to squeeze out as many points as possible.
Who went up? Who went up? It's Mommy's good boy.
The fight goes on for high ground. Two teams trying to make a name for themselves right now, trying to
Mommy's good boy going up. Blake versus Mommy's good boy.
Somehow Blake has just enough to stretch it out, but his resources are running down, counting down ever so fast. It's going to be a very important elimination for him, and they don't get it there, Jacob. It's not looking hot.
Mommy's good boy gets down and starts spraying back up.
That was good, boy. They immediately leap their way down to the low ground, but down comes Blake. Soneto
They go up. They take it. 48 million frogs on the high ground.
Shambles, the tables have turned, and they're trying to figure out which way to go. Is now he's fresh out of builds, using the men mist to try to stagger him back, waiting for Soneto to go down. Those are very important siphon mats for Blake, because now he's the last one.
Nice. Mommy's good boy. Oh, no. Blake going up. Mommy's good boy. Caught lacking.
Talking about playing the cards on the
We got 0 builds. Blake is not giving it up.
To make a big play here now. This is desperate, though. It's giving
Blake in the
the
1v2
teams time to fight while the high ground teams are distracted. This is a perfect
Peace.
situation for the other
Blake
teams
goes
on low,
down.
but Frogs
5 teams,
isn't
10
here to
players.
give it up, and they do a
Oh, is
good
Muzz gonna
job
win? Is Muzz gonna win?
maintaining it, but now there are just 2 players left
Where's
on
Clix?
this trio here.
Oh, Clix team went
Meanwhile,
down.
on the low ground, Muzz, Rise, and Jabco, one of the only full teams that
Bro, if
seem
Mommy's
to be
good boy wins
relatively
this, I
healthy
swear.
with material count, but the zone bounces back over the mountain. That's going to work against them. Jabco forced into a fight here against Byla's team, who is also now fully situated. Everyone's got their own layers, though, Jacob.
Oh, Byla. There's a couple teams that could take this.
Yeah, they just immediately drop
I actually don't know who's going to get
They don't
this.
want to become the target from height or any of those players running
2
around
builds,
in that
though.
mid-layer.
Look at the
Double
weapons.
chugs,
Outlaw's a bit
mythic pump. They
sketchy.
have
This
the
is a
recipe for
2v3,
success,
though.
But on the high ground, Frogs,
Only
good
2
boy,
shots in
they
the
have
Outlaw is going to be
not
tough.
looked back at this opportunity, and they have the pressure with the drum gun, trying to force those
Oh, it's
teams
going to be
down
Muzz.
below to exchange
Muzz
shots.
versus
Aaron's
Mommy's
gonna
good
feel a lot
boy.
of the pain. Rise gets that first elimination. Muzz gets another one.
Oh, but
on the
Yapko goes
nut.
down.
The damage has
It's
been
2v2v1.
done, but they
Wait a
lose Yapko
second.
along the way.
Mommy's
This
good
might come
boy.
down to a straight 2v2.
And Byla's just waiting it out. Byla healing.
Wait,
in the
Byla?
zone, so
Byla with
2v2.
solo clutch?
Muzz and Rise have the clutch. Just went up
Never
on
mind.
Byla with the distraction
What is
from the
happening?
high ground there. Frogs and
Baseball
Good Boy
bat comes
forced
out.
to
Oh, we
fight.
charged
Good
it.
Boy charging up the bat, seeing if he can send them flying, and he
Oh,
will.
he does.
Send one in,
Home run from Mommy's good boy.
Finds his way
Rise
into the
goes
zone.
down.
Frogs puts damage down.
It's Muzz
And
versus
Good
Mommy's good boy.
Good play for the
Who
Siphon
can
here,
win?
but Muzz
3-time
already healing.
FNCS champion
I
or
think he
Mommy's
has
good
enough to
boy
maintain it
14?
through to the end.
The
He will
battle
have a
of the
slight lead,
ages.
but if the Siphon doesn't come through, a chug drops.
Wait,
in just
gets
a
the chug
couple
off.
moments there.
1v1.
now
Muzz,
on the hunt
the
here,
solo
has to come
champion,
in.
but Mommy's
It's gonna
good boy
be a
blocks him
one
off.
shot. Good boy with the wall block, and Muzz clutches it in the
He
end.
whiffed. No,
This
Mommy's
is
good boy
just
whiffed.
practice on
All he had to do was
practice
just
for Muzz
shoot.
in these
No.
solo situations.
I never
How
thought I'd
many
want Muzz to
solo
not win, but it's
championships
Mommy's
does he
good boy
have?
14.
How many
I need it for the
solo
memes.
victories does this
For the
man
memes.
need to prove that he is one of the best
Well,
individual players
I mean, Muzz is
on
crazy.
the region. It comes down to a 1v1
W Muzz.
fight that
Muzz
was
in
really
grands, baby.
started
Okay, I'm
and
saying this
broken
because I had
open
no
by
doubt
Rise,
Muzz was
but
gonna
he
make
had
grands.
all the
Like-
trust in Muzz to finish that fight.
All right, chat.
When it
First
went down
V-Bug
to a
giveaway of the day. We'll make it
heel-off, I
Muzz
don't
with
even
one
think they
Z.
were
Muzz
worried
with one
for a
Z.
second.
M-U-Z.
And this was the path that they
W
took to get
Muzz.
there, dominating so many teams when they had the chance, taking down so many
There can be
players,
many
and the
bananas in
vital
chat.
resources were able to find
Many
multiple
bananas.
chug chugs, empty or not. That was Muzz's key to victory.
What a close game there.
W.
Rise falling could have cost them all, but Muzz said, no, hold on, I'm going to fight.
Okay, he
And
was okay.
finds
5
the
HP
dagger.
and 97
What's
shield. To be
done?
fair,
And
so he
a
did
big
at least
win for
102
Muzz.
shots. So it
Going
was like
right
not as
now
easy
in
as just
game
shooting.
number 1. Zeke,
So give Mommy's
what
good boy a
game
break.
that was.
Muzz! This is why if you don't believe in Muzz, this should prove to you that you should believe in Muzz. This is why he has titles in multiple regions, right? When your back's against the wall.
So chat, if you guys know how the V-Bug giveaways work, super simple. You type the word in chat, we draw the winners, we DM you the code on Twitch. Anyone can win. It works globally around the world. You don't have to do anything. Just type the word in once, that's it.
And this is where I flip the coin. 50-50, you or me. In Muzz's case, it's always 100% in his favor. Oh my gosh, game number 1. We get the victory royale from Yapko and Rise. And I'm just telling you right now, Yapko and Rise, if they were not popping off, I don't even know. I don't even know, dude. Muzz, that was sick.
10 more seconds, I'll call the giveaway.
This is exactly how we want to start Group 2 with Muzz, Rise, and Yapko coming out on top there. And you know those little hypothetical games that people play where, you know, oh, it's going to be like a horse-sized duck versus 10 duck-sized horses. Well, now we know that Muzz versus 48 million frogs, Muzz will actually come out on top there. So congratulations once again to Muzz,
we'll call the giveaway there. I didn't see what Kelly was cooking with that one. I didn't try to figure out where that one was going.
Down to the final moments there, Vivid. I was so worried, and then Muzz, of course, clutches it out.
I mean, the final moments, right? Of course, we're going to highlight those, but controlling the low ground throughout the entirety of that end game, that's gonna be the highlight.
Jess won it. No way, Jess won the V-Bucks.
Honestly, I thought
it's rigged.
Yamza, they were going to be the ones that had control over it. No, they overcame them as a trio. Ended up coming down to that 1v1. Of course, Muzz is going to win that. Rise has already kind of hit socials. He was like, in and out, put a little smiley face after that one. Game 1, the rest of the day is your guys as a trio. What an awesome game, number 1.
Thank you, JD Bear with the private 23.
Man, I'm sad.
Deluxe,
I'm sad because that means we won't get to see them. Like, that's
Alex,
it.
Al,
the next time we
Jordan
see them
Frog,
is next weekend in finals. I want to see more Muzz, Yapko,
Trixie,
and Rise,
Jesse, Pecan, Scorchy, J-Dog, PW, Juicy, Kalino, they sub chat.
Where are we going? What's the plan? More on that next weekend. For now, though, we have to go to a break. When we return, we'll talk about what we saw out of game number 1. So,
why does Muzz even take part? Why not, bro? What? Why would Jess not enter, bro? She's just here watching like you. I don't pay Jess. Mary's the one who's paid. So why would Jess not enter? If anything, I should make it so mods have higher chance of winning, which I don't, but what? Thank you, Rondo, with the private 6. Nice win reaction on Twitter. Is it good? Is it worth watching? Let's see. Who posted it, chat? You guys say Twitter as if Twitter's like a place where I just open, all of a sudden it's just going to be the thing you're talking about. You want to tell me like where? Like who? All right, Muzz tweet. All right, sweet.
Can we get from
There's
again?
no,
Can we get from again?
100, 170, killed one at 1v1.
You dropped the 50 chuck, by the way.
Yeah, he's playing whites. He's gonna play my side. He needs one chug jug. His teammate dropped him. I don't know how much it is though.
You're gonna have to kill him.
Yeah. He has the one chug jug. He's playing in the front with no mats, just on the front of zone, right on my card.
Nice.
Oh,
Good shit.
In and out, baby. In and out.
Good shit,
Walk out of
guys.
this.
So boring.
Wow, yo, Aura, active champions. Oh my god, Aura. Right. I was supposed to say. Not even that hyped. I mean, to be fair, chat, it's Muzz, Rise, and Yapko. Like, there's no way they woke up today like wondering whether they're gonna make grants. You know what I mean? It's just how much of a shift they have to put in before they make grants. You know? What do you mean lame, chat? What do you mean lame reaction, dude? They have like how many grand finals appearances does that team have combined? It's like 50 plus, dude. Do you really think like they're gonna be freaking out that hard? So they're done playing. So yeah, they stop now, man. They stop now until Grants. So they gave the champions the original FNCS pickaxe to anyone competing in Pro-Am or who's previously won an FNCS. So Muzz got his back because of his FNCS wins in Chapter 2. James Bond music. True. It's not terrible though. I don't mind the music this time around. So I got one too. I did, bro. I did.
Bro, bring the music back. Come on. All right, anyway. Game number 1. Muzz, Yapko, and Rise got themselves the victory royale, which unfortunately means we won't see them until finals, which is good for them because that's great for them, but it's sad for me because I want to see them play more. But man, a lot of things happened in that last game. If you're just tuning in, welcome. This is group number 2. We're looking for the Victory Royale to make it to finals or to end the day in the top 5 in consistency. Let's talk about some of the things we saw in that last game. We got to start, of course, Clix, Iamzo, and Higgs. I almost said Batman Bugha. That was close. I caught myself. They performed well in this last game. They ended 7th place with 5 elims, right? I like to see this kind of strong start. We go ahead, we get some momentum building, and over the next few games, rather, we aim for that VR. Maybe we just play for consistency. Either way, I'm happy.
Oh yeah, and this was a pretty standard game for what we see out of Clix, Iamzo, and Higgs time and time again. Sticking to the low ground, sticking to the front of zone, but obviously it's going to be a little bit of a hindrance when you also have Muzz's trio on the edge of zone. There was a moment there around zone 10, zone 11, where if you look actually at the front of zone, it's both trios neck and neck for each other. I believe Clix's trio was on the left-hand side, and just a few boxes over was Muzz's trio. But this, I don't think, is going to put a stall in their momentum whatsoever, Vivid. I think that this is just kind of, you know, what happens in the group stages.
Yeah, I know, relatively speaking, still a pretty good game out of them, right? Keep themselves in the top 10, right there at 6th place. Pretty decent game from them. Another, you know,
nice. Oh, Byla
should look towards.
Byla, Mommy's good. No way, they got actions. No, Mommy's good boy got actions.
And the
no
spot. Bugha,
Dolzy, the tick, Clix.
Also keeping themselves in the conversation.
No,
incredible stat.
Mommy's good boy's dead, chat. That was his one chance to win the game as Mommy's good boy.
Right, so I wouldn't be surprised if they definitely qualify through the consistency.
Give us back our hero.
Yeah, when watching, especially our kind of 2-1 trios in these group stages, I consistently see either they go for high ground or they go for low ground. But Bugha's trio, and something that I've noticed them do before, is that they kind of like this second height. Not necessarily to steal height away, but I think that they just kind of like being able to, you know, take shots at the high ground, but also look low, go for those loot drops if they are able to grab it. So that's kind of just an interesting little tidbit that I've noticed from Bugha's trio.
Well, they make their name. They become like user-A7617, whatever the hell it is.
He'll steal away those games.
Hey, Magic or Prime?
See that happen in one of the 4 that remain. Another duo we saw in
do
this
we
game,
still have Vaney RD though?
And Soneto up on high ground. Let's go, Blake. Let's do more of that.
Think you mean stuff?
Yeah, Blake on high ground there. They had it for quite a while until all 48 million frogs jumped up at once and tried to steal it away from them. But really what was surprising to me, Vivid, was
no way their names go back and retroactively change.
Blake lost Soneto.
Wait, do they?
And
No.
Sales, but was able to kind of try
No,
to
my Mommy's good boy.
as a solo and have
wait, the teammate's name was already actions? What's happening
here, but still, to see that from Blake, I love to see it. I'm excited to see what they do in game 2.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, kind of the battle for high ground right there, right? It was honestly incredible. There was a team that was kind of
they ban literally anything. Like, why would they ban inbred camel toe? 47.
Actually going down, continued to fight for it. Unfortunately for Blake, sure, right? They couldn't actually find any space to go find any refreshes, any time to go pick up
I haven't
never really just ended up running out of mats, and Blake tried his best kind of solo clutch and take that high ground back, but not end up working out though.
Yeah, let's just do it again, but this time let's just get impact, let's get refreshes, or just kind of save mats, right? Whatever that puzzle is, we just need to solve that, but it begins with the high ground, and I love to see that from Blake and his trio. With that being said, though, game number 2 is ready for us. Let's just jump right back into the action. Casters, take it away.
Mommy's good boy is not too bad.
Very, very quickly.
It's more, I think they're trying to get past the idea of trolling, but there's no way I have to deal with multiple ages every week, and now they're going to start actioning them.
Unleashed to the rest of the lobby, Monster, and with 4 games left, makes you wonder what change-ups will we have.
Yeah, and if you're the Western team that got taken out right away in the early game, you're pretty happy, right? You get to ease off that pressure there, so they have
the Prime
now to also get into the game. And this is
Ocus got actions. Oh damn, Ocus name got actions.
That's what makes these group stages very fun. So shout out to Muzz, Jabco, Rise. You saw the aura was there, in and out.
Aura.
Nice day of work. Let's watch game number 2.
Thank you, Maxwell, with the tier 1. Thank you, Tonka.
All right, Jacob. Well, things are going to be heating up here for the Major 2, game number 2. What a piece of action
chat, you can't say Bucke, Epic hates Bucke. They've been really good with Bucke today. Don't do that.
You know, sometimes
but like your name being a reference to being autistic, they're probably gonna have a problem with.
We got a lot of Fortnite in front of us, but when it starts to get good, it gets very exciting. We already know, though, Jacob, some of the early action to Demon's Dojo is going to be one of those places that we want to focus in on, but We also got, of course, Nut, Vila, and Aaron. Very close game for them coming out of the Flooded Frogs as they almost picked up a victory royale.
Yeah, right there, this is one of those teams in game number 1. They were supposed to be contested, and already it seems like switch-ups are happening after a spot opens up. People are realizing who's dropping where. That might not be one that I would want to take as Vortex, Bacon, and Nerface. Kind of a pretty good performance in that last game.
No, user FF1E405730. Got a bit more shield than user 2E46F42026 though, so I don't know. Don't know which one's going to come out on top in the spawn fight.
Player, a teammate along the way, you're still
it's still fun. We can still have fun,
that's
right?
a good sign of confidence, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do for the rest of the day. 75 points, second place overall on the consistency leaderboard after that first game.
Oh, Bucke. Did Bucke take down Virgo? Might have got him out of the sky before he landed a kappa.
Drop spot for them here at the Crime City. Going up against Azteca, Avery Reigns, and of course Jerry's Fire. So from game 1, this is a fight that actually broke out and another team came in, and then they actually all disbanded, so they didn't get to finish that action there, and that was luckily, you know, in our favor. They gave us a wonderful game 1 end game. Meanwhile, back on over to the Demons Dojo. Liam, Vivid G's, and AOKOD going for the high ground retake here. Not looking too hot for the opponent, who gets boxed up and forced out, but
nice.
Puts up a great tag, at least does some damage.
I think I'm kind of cheering for Jez and Jerem's team here. I like Jez. He's a long-term sub of mine. Come on, Jez.
Proxy defensively, but him and his teammate are already down, and Tenya and Viper coming in for some visuals.
All right, Wolfie, calm down, bro.
Disengage right now. Viper seems to have spotted the solo. He's looking around from that high.
They're not showing Peanut, they're a bunch of haters, bro. They're trying to hold down my duo. Justice for Peanut, bro. Show him.
Difference, because remember game 1, it was very slow, basically splitting Demons Dojo, going their separate ways. Hey, but when you have an open opportunity, you jump on a player from that trio that's just separated out of position. Those are the opportunities you got to take, and here's another example of that. Blake Soneto Sales, they see somebody just a little bit too far from their trio, from their liking. They get the full piece, boxes them up.
Oh my God,
takes down their first elimination of this game, and that's big for a team like this that knows that they can play for high ground, and they may have went for it a little bit too early. 8th zone, they got overtaken, didn't have the mats to keep fighting for it, but these are little experience with how many.
When is the Death Star going to appear? I don't really know what's going on with the Star Wars stream anymore.
I think this just starts to build his confidence game after game.
Yeah, definitely. Confidence is important. Going for high ground. Still, there's lessons learned in those moments, and now I'm sure they're weighing their next game accordingly.
No! 2023 Bucke flew Cam Slam and user 66F146B033.
Cam was one of the early casualties before they had to find a way to kind of get them back in the game, and now here's a one takeaway from game number 1. At least it wasn't a 0-point game for them, right? They allowed themselves to at least get a foot in the door.
Is it 100% Star Wars season tomorrow? Well, it's 100% a Star Wars season next season, not tomorrow.
Right now, but we all know here this is a team that can surely win a game should things align correctly for them.
Yeah, and kind of see the mixed match of this team. Bucky's team with Ocus, Bucky's team with Cam before in duo competitions. Now they bring it all together. They're moving their drop spot from Foxy Floodgates over to here because they got instant access to that black market, which means they're going to get that mythic drum gun right out of the gates. The only real question is the metal material, how much of that they're going to be able to get as a team, and where they're going to get their Storm Surge. Kelly said something earlier about Bugha's team. It's because so many teams around that area are uncontested, which means there's going to be a lot of open space, so it's not going to be easy to come by as Clix, Higgs, Yamzo. They already looted up their Lone Wolf player. They got all the gold. Now they're trying to break into the black market. They know at least one team is there, and they're immediately trying to push their way in. But the porta potty, the exit on the other side, the full trio is going to try to take that.
Oh, they're running. Oh, they're pushing.
Already on the move right now. I like what we're seeing from Clix, Yamzo.
Rehab would be a fun caster. Rehab was an excellent analyst. Casting, I think he'd do it well as well, but he was a really good analyst.
The right in the world to know that, wait a second, we are definitely the strongest team in the vicinity here, pushing these trios out. One thing we did notice too, when that first surge came around, Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs didn't necessarily have a ton of damage, right? They kind of were forced into a fight. I don't blame them
I didn't
for
see that
some
stat.
early action here.
Went too quick.
Just kind of seeing what's left. because of that gold. That's what we're going to see. I expect maybe no less than 24
You know, it's on
splashes,
14.
maybe even more total out of that trio once they do leave the black market. As we tune
13
into
out of
Bugha
13
threats
finals, never
and
placed worse than
Rapid, and you're
6.
seeing
That's
how they spread out.
crazy.
That's one of the things
That's
I did want to
insane.
mention.
That is a really good stat.
Uncontested. It might be hard to get surge, but the way this trio actually plays, they make 3 different surge bases around this POI, so they can cover as much ground as possible, and they focus mainly on this black market because they know whether you're landing there directly or Mass Meadows or Hopeful Heights, any at least
Oh,
of
they
those
chopped the
3
building.
teams
It's the
that
reason I
land
was
in
talking
those
about.
locations have to rotate to here, especially if the zone does
And
go
a World
towards the
Cup
north,
win.
so there's a lot
And
of
a World
chances
Cup
for them
win.
to start accumulating that surge, and that's been a consistent game plan for them all season long.
Definitely a great game plan all around, and what a W stat. Bugha, the most experienced player in this group stage here. You love to see it.
I feel like, wouldn't that be the same?
Now,
Hasn't
let's
Clix
get
only
back to
missed
some
one,
more
though?
experienced players.
I feel like
Freeze,
Cl-
TK, and
oh,
Quanzi
the
not looking
pizza.
good for the team right here.
Never
as
mind.
Some of the new blood.
Because Clix
coming up
only
here.
missed
Ariel,
one with Bugha.
T-Ram and Recore on the
But,
hunt
yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
They've
never mind.
caught off
The
one of the
incident.
opponents here. Freeze, though, coming out with no shield. Still looking for the fight, trying to go toe-to-toe here. Has to be careful, though. Gets boxed in and get the mechanics.
Wait, did
out
Clix
of
miss
Freeze.
another
He
one? I
somehow
swear Clix only missed the one with
squeezes
Bugha,
out
and then
of
he's...
that
Oh, he's missed
situation.
3. Oh,
Control
really?
the
Which
other
other one
side
did he
here.
miss? So he missed the one with Bugha.
But look,
And,
T-Ram.
that was sweaty. That was against Sprite, the Sprite clutch.
This is gonna give
Then
them
he,
so
the pizza.
much
What was the
advantage
third?
here. Still though, TK putting up a great fight. Into the box they go though.
Globals? That doesn't
TK
count,
by his
though.
Tag, and he doesn't. T-Ron, Ariel,
He didn't
Recore
qual Grand
come
Royale. Does
away
that
with
count?
3 eliminations there now.
Oh.
And just like that, doesn't matter how good you are, these up-and-coming
I didn't know if that
players
counted
are
as an
here to
FNCS
make
finals
their
lobby,
names
'cause it's like a land,
heard
you know?
across
You can
the
grab the
field,
team up
and
12?
That's exactly what they do right now.
Gosh, that does count.
I see
Okay.
the team, you know, when it comes to the divisional finals in general, they've been almost a mainstay more times than not. When I'm
Smith
doing
with the
my
private
watch
13.
parties, I see this team in finals, and now it's time for them to really put the rest of the lobby on notice. They're not just a team that's taking part in these group stages.
Oh, Grand
They're
Royale wasn't a
team that
LAN.
you
Oh, you're
have to
right.
worry
Sorry,
about,
Grand
'cause you can only
Royale.
imagine
That's
how they're
right, sorry,
able to
Grand
open up
Royale
that
was the,
fight,
the
because
trios one.
Quanti and his team usually positioned up there to get surge, so it
Yo,
must have been some
crap, I need
well-played
to chill the
shots,
fuck out,
some
Broski.
well-coordinated pushes for them to not only clean up the eliminations, but basically just wipe the team and be able to kind of take that position for themselves. But from one side of the map to the next, you see in this side overall, we saw contested off-spawn fights. We saw third parties move in, and I think as the day goes on, it's going to end up more and more like this, with nobody wanting to risk that early fight, so they end up kind of boxed up, going for surge tags, and in close proximity from one another.
Buttered Frogs having the edge of the zone in play right now is causing this to be a
Hey, Hex
huge
is here with
attraction
31.
point for these rotating teams on the outskirts right now. Some are avoiding it though. Very
Nice, Hex.
so
I'm jealous.
carelessly. For Casey, Frenzy, and Kill though.
8-3 tomorrow? Yeah.
They're
Group 3
attracting
tomorrow.
another trio here on the eastern side. It's not Aaron and Byla looking to make a mark here, potentially looking for some big damage. Zip holding the high ground here, pushing some of the teams off just outside the shiny shafts. Sleepsy and Gloom in a box fight right now. Doesn't even need Zip's support for a second there. They're just holding down the fort.
Yeah, just north of Shiny Shaft, so the Buzzrise Yapko no longer in the game. It kind of frees up a lot of that space, and where they would typically push teams to try to get surge, you're seeing another team take that place on top of the mountain, just trying to put pressure down below. There is opportunities for 2 teams to third party this. You see them towards the north making their way in this location. They're out in the open on top of the mountain, especially with Zip weak. Could be a good opportunity to strike, but you see how on the other side, Gavin, all in God's hand, and their trio is just kind of box
the pros
fighting.
move
They're
so
trying to
quick.
play to bait
So when they're
their
like grabbing
opponents
those right
into a
hands,
position that
they like
feel
actually
they have a good
sprinting
upper
left to
hand.
right as well, not just strafing. I really got to sprint more when I box fight. Holy shit.
Gotta be careful though, as Vixen
So
and
fast.
Avenger are sneaking their way up down the outskirts here. God's hands, Gavin and Maji right now looking to disengage off this fight. That was a good call, but no, all in God's hands. Ends up getting caught off guard there. Bedmiss comes down for the trio down low. Smart play. However, the attraction is all in here. It's a 3-man dive, and they get it just in time before the pickup gets to come through, and just like that, they clean them up, and damage has been done onto Zip and Gloom. Vixie Avenger have an opportunity here to jump in, but they're still lurking around right now.
Yeah, we've seen this last week. It works.
Hey,
They're
Shio,
really
the
not
top 5?
expecting it, especially with no third party shooting these shots in this direction. So they're hoping when this trio does leave this position, they go through the top side of that box. because everything else is going to be sealed, and there's that opportunity. Did they
Hosting
see
the event sales? Nah, that's tomorrow, bro. My $15,000 squad reload cup's tomorrow, man. It's pretty late in the day, though. For a lot of you guys on the EU NA schedule, it's pretty late. It's OCE time.
As a duo to start off this fight monster, they're actually playing it exceptionally well.
I'm not gonna lie, King Vixie's kind of nice with it, showing us what he's made of, and nearly finds the elimination to really set the stage for himself. But they've given Gloom's team a little too much time
This is a
to go
weird
ahead and
fight, man.
recalibrate here.
I do love me
think
some
they
build
recognize
fights,
they have
though.
a numbers advantage too, and up sleeps he's going. Looking to continue to make a name for himself, and this is going.
What time
way
OC?
up to the
4
top
p.m.
down.
Sydney time, so in 8 hours from now, tomorrow.
I was thinking about breaking this one down. You just can't resist at this point. If I had to guess.
But I am turning to the YouTube video, so don't worry. I'll have the highlights for you guys in the YouTube video.
Attention is on Vixie right now, taking him ever higher, and then he finds Zip in the trade there. So Avenger with the finish and the takedown. It's a 2v2.
Yeah, if Avenger has any HP in his inventory resources, this might be a good chance for him to disengage, but he still has to watch out.
Hi, beautiful
Gets taken
girl. You
down
seem
by
happy. You feel
Gloom.
better?
This is not necessarily the best position because Vixie goes down as well. Valiant effort from that duo. They're even able to get that elimination onto Zip, but they're able to spot out that third-party team, making their way on up. That third-party team knows this is a good chance for them to fight this 3v2, but Sleps jumps off towards the edge. Hey, if anybody's going to stay alive, Sleps is hoping it's him, but their chase is on. Great damage is there. Following up without not skipping a beat, but it gets stolen away. User on the other side steals away the points, even if they're not going to be able to get the loot.
And they're diving in. They're not looking to let this one go away. This is Frogs and the rest of the team coming on in hot right here. And I was about to give a lot of credit to Elush right there. The way that he made the comms to push for high ground, you knew he wasn't going to let that Elim slip away. And
I like little squiggly hair, though. Little
Can't
bald baby, yeah.
team lurking this deep in the storm, right? We're still at the shiny
you do
shafts,
well.
mind you. So
that's you. Yeah, they're talking to you.
in this vicinity here. Getting back over though. Bacon Vortex, they have to give this one up right now. Seems personal though. Elush wants to fight regardless of what now.
Yeah, they immediately build up. They don't want to give any free and easy shots to that duo down below. It's Bacon, Vortex,
She looked at the top monitor, she's like,
Face.
"They're not even
Big
on."
game in that game number one, really setting themselves up with a good amount of points, a cushion, some would say, just in case things go wrong in any of their future games. But since they were able to get the damage, they were able to get that elimination, they might be looking to disengage, take the little wins while you can, and just continue on with the rest of the game, knowing for somebody that might not be in that same position, getting that Storm Surge, they might be on the lookout and put themselves in a bad position.
Hey, it's Noxie! The way Noxie went Arc and
Factor I
Noxie.
can think about is maybe
Noxie.
they need more damage, right? Because clearly they're sticking around for a reason.
Nasty ways.
And
That's nice, my baby.
sure, they got the Elim, so they get some points. However, that player was definitely super weak, so not much damage being accumulated there. Noxie, Mason, and Virgo, though, we didn't get to see much of them in game number one. As they only earned 3 points, so pretty tough kickoff for them. However,
Finally waved.
Here and now.
You're welcome.
Yeah, all the way at the side, kind of towards the Kappa factory, and they just make it in their way up the edge of the zone. They kind of beelining their way towards the west, taking it step by step. VM broken, 221 above the damage threshold. They have an opportunity with a trio down.
What's her name? Her name is Charlotte.
Or
Charlie. That is my daughter. Anyone who is new to the stream.
Because there's a second trio, a third overall in this
about
fight,
a year and a quarter.
rotating outside of Mass Meadows that can potentially be a danger for them.
See what's going on here. Aether, Corsi, and Anonia. Second time now.
Yeah, I've heard this team's getting stuck in a lot of really aggressive fights when they got 1,000 above too.
Game one, they won a
Thanks,
fight, and then all of a sudden got third
Thank you,
party.
Dizzle,
Now,
with the Prime.
coming into game two, they've made it a little
What August
bit further.
WTJ?
So some
Witness the
improvements
journey.
being made. Elim's on the board for them as well. Plenty of damage here, so
What's up, Xavier?
they're probably thinking, is this team in a desperate situation? Is the surge going to turn on? Or are they going to just, key towards us? I like the passive play here to kind of wait this one out, but little do they know,
No,
the
Jason.
read is just slightly off. What's going on here? How do you make way with this? I'm looking at 3 teams in a mix here. This is a blender of action, undoubtedly, but Azteca, Jerry's Fire, and Davies Rain from the Crime City underneath the surge now. Still haven't managed to find themselves an elimination just yet. Splash is coming
And he's
out.
really, you can tell it's like a less
all or
experienced
nothing
group because these really long, drawn out, like
They wanna
griefy kind of
take a fight
fights.
that they have to take because Storm Surge dictating
Ooh.
them off. Great shots.
Yeah,
by
we're
Blake.
going
The rest
down
of the
here.
team following
Blake,
up as
though.
well.
Blake
One
holding
knock's
his
gonna
own.
go through. Civ
That's one of the
trying to make
OGs right
decisions.
there.
Do I heal? Do I fight
There's the
back?
experience.
He takes another shot. Storm Surge turns off, but that's not even his worry anymore. As Avery's Rain breaking him into the box, he's trying to save his teammate the best they can. Sales, Blake, Sinetto, they need to heal up as well, but they have to make that conscientious decision. Do I let that down go and get revived or keep pressure? And they're going to charge the ladder. Shield trying to break their way into the box, revived and instantly put back down yet again. Blake finding these opportunities to shut down a full trio down below.
It happens, you know, sometimes you reach your limit, and it looks like Davies' Rain just reached theirs. The boiling point is here. Sinetto, Blake, and Sales picking up the elims right now, racking up the points, and another team is hopping into the action. They just couldn't wait. They just couldn't wait.
Like, IGLing, I actually don't know.
Here.
Not sure with this trio.
But no,
He's
they
got the
don't
most
find
experience
the
out of the
elims they were
trio, but I don't know if
looking
he's
for, so
actually
things kind of
IGLing.
ease out for a second, and somehow, some way, Azteca manages to just slip under the cracks there, through the cracks, if you will.
It's
We'll
Neto,
live
is
to
it?
See another day. But we're a long way from the end game here, so we'll see
Good
how
idea. Okay.
things end up playing out for them.
Yeah, I don't even necessarily like this spot to rotate on out. You're going from a high mountain down towards the edge.
You're sure what rolled you for? I mean, obviously Fragga. I mean, I'm
That
fucking
you were
crazy.
just
You guys have
talking
seen me.
about, still trying to land damage across. Even as his solo.
This is what I do, bro.
still
Just
a
put
lot
kids
of
down, you know.
pressure when Storm Surge
Constant
is
refreshes,
active,
all
he
that.
tries to break his way in. It's almost all or nothing for him. Storm Surge will take him out, or Blake Sinetto
Crazy
themselves will get
shit.
credit for that elimination. More points for them as they continue to move up that leaderboard.
No, I genuinely actually like
Sinetto
topping.
and
So
Sales
if I was to
putting
like
up
lock
the
in on
elims
competitive
right now.
tomorrow and actually try and
5
improve, I would definitely work on being an
eliminations
IGL and tapper.
Definitely in the
Kinda
lead
comes to
for
being
the
old as
lobby
shit,
here,
but-
really showcasing why they are one of the veteran trios to keep an eye out on. We had to talk about them just in game number 1, and they're making sure we don't forget that they're here to put up a fight indeed. Bucke, Cam, and Ocus right now trying to rotate their way to the new zone. Teams on the high ground taking their picks.
He's steady with the prime.
Doing good, even with one elimination. You see 1,000 damage above the zone.
Come on,
They're
Bucky.
not in
Come on, for Vivid's prediction. Vivid
the
predicted
next
Bucky's
overall
winning
safe
game
spot
2. Let's
just
see it.
yet,
I
but
want to
they're
see
so
it.
Close. They can
Come
start
on.
to build up just a little bit, separate themselves from the low ground. Because they know with active Storm Surge like this, even if they don't want to necessarily fight a team, all it takes is a full trio below Surge close enough to try to start the engagement. They see one towards the outside. There's another
Sorry,
one
Mac Dog.
slowly but
Making
surely
jokes earlier.
Viper
So the
and
way
his
groups
trio
work is there's
sneaking up
99
on the
teams make
side.
groups. You
Again,
get put
these
into
are the
one of
questions
3
you ask
groups.
about how
Peak
you're
played
able
in
to
group 1.
manage
He's already
Surge
qualified in
early on
grands.
the game because it kind of frees up a lot of what you're able to do if you are well above that threshold. Like Bugha, Rapid, and Threats, they can rotate the slow sides, take their time in towards the zone, so that way they can position themselves perfectly how they want for the end game.
Yeah, Bugha, Rapid, and Threats is, again, a very interesting trio because if you look at their history, again...
Yeah,
they
sorry, bro. We're
don't
kind of poking
get
fun at
lot
you with
of
that one, but yeah, it's my bad,
eliminations.
dude.
However, they are consistently finding themselves...
That's
in
why there's a
positions
lot of
to
names
earn
you're probably not used to
massive placement
recognizing,
points.
'cause
And you can see this is
a lot of these teams
They
have
don't
actually
put
never
their
made a
games
grands. It's like
at
their
risk
first
for
chance.
elims, but they find the damage.
Do well, Sanford. Getting there,
just
man. Getting there.
through Pure veteranship, right? Just
They're recovering.
understanding of the game here. Even Rapid now thinking about fishing for tags. But it's a mass zone pull here, and look, they're gonna go all the way dead side, making sure they avoid
Ooh, nice
full
rotate.
lines of sights from other opponents, and no one even knows they're there.
There's been
Right?
lots of
They're just
different
keeping
versions of heats
that
in the
hidden
past.
Profile. It is possible, even in these types of lobbies.
Hey, Josh with the prime for 13.
Look at this, not Aaron and Bila. Center zone in a fight right now.
This is good for Bilo if we don't go down here.
It's like a
For an
difference
81
right now.
points, sorry, that was a
Bugha,
great
Rapid,
first
taking
game for
a leisurely
Bila.
stroll on the other side of the zone. Not too many people they're running into. Then you got Bila, Nut, and Aaron, center zone. Don't really have to rotate too much, but there is going to be a team right next to them. And you can see that they're 361 above the damage threshold. It's not something for them to worry about now, but if not too many teams around them rotating in,
He's having uncon if he gets the grands.
something that is in the back of their mind as this game
Venom
does
sees pretty
continue.
clearly wanted
You
to
see it
contest
kind
it,
of
bro.
moving down the side of the mountain. So if any team position themselves on that slow side of the zone, that will be an opportunity for them as Yamzo finds
I'm gonna put that in my
a
notes,
couple of
actually.
eliminations on the other side by himself too.
A little mean highlight for the books there, just to go ahead and
You Motor
put
Man
some
with the other
respect
4.
on it.
Hey, Simon.
Yamzo, Clix, and Higgs. fully gathered their bearings here.
That was nasty. That really went the worst time.
It's a refresh
Classic.
that they absolutely
Literally went to my Discord and said
deserve
Veno
and
versus
needed
Savage.
there.
Make sure I don't think I talk about that tonight's video.
Coming into the end game now, but yeah, Bugha, Rapid, and Threats, a very scary trio sitting and hovering just above them now. Of all the teams alive right now, this is definitely one of the most experienced, obviously.
I don't think it makes more sense Veno stays drop.
They're still in it.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't think Threads gets enough credit. If you
I mean, Veno's got the layers spot, man, so
damage dealt in a lot of these finals appearances, Threads is usually near the top.
Clearly,
of the
Mask makes a lot of
leaderboard.
sense,
Today
dude.
alone in game 1, he had over 1,100 damage for his team, kind of freeing up a lot of that mobility, the flexibility for them to take these slower rotations towards the outside. And now you see the zone is going to pull back. Higgs, Clix, Yamzo really kind of led that charge. That was the team down below him. But all they have to do is mirror that rotation, and they have to do it quick enough so none of these other distracted players can see him.
I can only imagine Bugha right now is fuming at the zone pulls opposite every time.
Come on, Noxie. Come on, Noxie.
Forced into using some of that hard-earned material for Virgo, Noxie, and Mason. A little bit of a different situation here. They're kind of sitting on this sandwich of players here, leading at the front side, just waiting for things to go ahead.
I think I
move
said
in so
Noxie
they
mass
can
made.
inch
I think he
their way
bought
to
his
the
too.
safety here.
That'll be Noxie.
And I like where they're positioned. They're going to open up some new angles here shortly. Just give it a moment.
Yeah, Simon, it's annoying.
Clix,
Chat,
Yamzo,
click
Higgs
this link.
make it up the
See if you got a
mountain.
free prime
Threats'
available.
team
Cost
makes
you
it up
nothing.
the mountain, and the team on high ground is Ariel,
Which makes it very
Tira,
hard to use your
and
primes.
Recor. Now we got to look at this team. This team has
Ooh, Recco on the high
a little
grounds.
bit of veteranship in here. I do believe
Oh, and he's
Tara
dead.
might be Dorito here, who's been to the finals before. But hold up, lose a teammate, might have spoken too soon, jumps down. And what just happened? He takes fall damage. This is not how they expected this to go down. And oh no, the boys see it go down. One's gonna go and get taken out
And he's
there.
dead.
It seems like all that's left is to get a full save here, but my gosh, a full turn of events.
Yeah, that's
Amazing. Thank you, Royals.
You
You can't even blame me for that one. What the fuck did we just do? Don't even, you don't dare try and blame me for that one.
Mind games with a lot of the players. Once you see a mountain range in the zone, you have to start to prepare for the worst case scenario that it'll be in the game for the rest of these next couple of zones. It's going to go up, over, down the side of the mountain yet again. For those that are not
I'm not dumb. Sorry, bro. I got a family thing today for Easter. Good luck though, bro.
Gives them the luxury to be able to watch all these teams down below expend mats, expend resources.
Is Sharp with the prime 25?
One by one, just like that. The weak ones will show themselves, and Threats will take advantage.
This is perfect. This is exactly where Threats wants to be. Very rarely have we seen Bugha's team on the high ground, but put them in a group
Ooh,
stage
Muzz
like
win
this,
game
they
1,
put
Bugha game
their
2.
Experience at the forefront.
These are all the
of
tier 1
lobby,
teams.
and
They're just coasting
should be
through.
able to run away with this. They have the material count. They know what to do with this high ground. It's just going to come down to whether or not anyone really wants to be bullish and try to contend them for it, but I doubt it. Clix, Higgs, and Yamzo right now running through their material. Ever so slightly, Yamzo leading the way. This is a
Man, you're so fast with this A.
rotate, cutting through the low ground there, but it ends up working out. Quick layer changes here.
Ooh, 7 elims, but Blake solo.
Fall. They're at 7 eliminations in another end game, though. They're going to be happy about the points earned here, undoubtedly. But what more can Blake do? He's going to find Bucke. The little tags there. Just keep him ever so active, but the zone's bouncing back now.
Hey, it could be a worse situation. He has 19 builds, 3 different splashes. He has the kneecapper.
Oh, Yamzo going for height. Wait, is he going for height or are we just topping out of here off low ground? I'm so confused. Where are we?
Yamzo playing box to box, just buying Higgs and Clix time to go ahead and disengage.
Wait, we're just
from
topping
that
out.
fight. Put themselves in a much safer position as we're going back over the mountain
Ooh,
range.
Bucke's
Yet
still in this,
again,
though.
A lot of recycled builds, a lot
But
of
no
chances
Cam,
for
only
players
Bucke and
to
Okus.
hide. See
The
another
dynamic
one being
duo.
Lost in the backside of the zone. That was Rapid able to find another elimination on the Blake, and this is for them being able to basically shoot down into a barrel.
This is an incredibly difficult spot for Yamzo's team to be in. They're going to force themselves all the way to low ground. Threats, Rapid, and Bugha doing exactly what they need to do. Keeping that pressure on these ultimate layers here that are beneath them.
Oh, here we go. 4 elims. Wait, maybe. Clix versus Bugha.
Now we have to switch things up and come down a little bit, but notice how cautious they are. Meanwhile, Yamzo, Clix, and his starting to get desperate for some eliminations here, for a little bit more resources to make this endgame a tad bit easier as things are starting to elevate back up and over.
A lot of good trios in this, though. Anyone can win this. There's a lot of really good trios still going.
Jumping over Virgo, Noxie, and Mason, though. They're starting to heat up. They're at 6
Take down
eliminations
Neko.
right now, potentially pushing for a big double digit, and their loadout's looking relatively respectable.
Yeah, they were able to find that drop onto Neko. Unfortunately, they're not able to pick up the actual elimination and get the loot. They had to leave it to the side. That was Threats who was able to take advantage and find all that.
Nice, good low ground claim.
Immediately staying under the front side of the
Could be
zone
the-
as they get contested by
nice.
Hound. They all turn, they burn, they get a knockdown onto him, and they float towards the backside.
Things goes
They're
down,
trying to
though.
pass around the Chug, but Clix was unable to pick it up. He realized Yamzo is in danger. He tries to reunite to be the hero, and now they're feeling all the pressure on the front side of the zone.
They take him down. Clix goes down, though.
And then falls to the hands of Northern there inside the storm. So Northern clutching up some big points.
55 builds.
And we're still not even at a top 5 just yet. 6 teams, 5 teams finally remaining now.
Ooh,
There
code.
it is, Northern looking for another elimination.
Is there any
Falls to the
trio
hands of
still alive?
Aussie
Is
from the
Bugha just...
outskirts.
Oh, no, wait, Rapper's down. Wait, who's going to win
He's one
this?
of the few still
Wait, is it
in
Noxie?
this.
Oh my God,
Takes
Noxie
the
win.
zip line to the top. Beautifully read in the tag onto
Noxie
another
win.
player there, but he
Oh my God, do it,
falls in
Noxie,
the
do it.
end. Bugha still holding
Come on.
here somehow.
I can Noxie
loses
with the solo
all
clutch.
control of the game. Where in the world did Hayes and Enough come from?
I am
I'm not
Enough.
sure, but they're holding down the fort now.
Come on, Noxie, clutch it,
This is their
son.
opportunity. Bugha's already healing off to
Oh.
the back. Noxie's a
Oh my
solo
gosh.
who instantly gets taken down. As Suda tries to slide in, Bugha tries to make the play, but
12
it's Hayes,
Elam win
Ivanov, and their
for those
trio
guys.
that immediately take advantage of that
Woo.
opportunity. I didn't see where
Yay.
they come from either, Monster, but we know where they're going, and that's
He
to
is
the
enough.
finals.
And it looks like this is a first time
Those guys won
for
it.
Enough Mafia and Hayes who pick up game 2 in a victory royale.
All right, so I guess we'll make the
against
V-Buck
Alexa
giveaway
Bugha.
Hayes.
I don't know what
H-A-Z-E
all unfolded for
Hayes.
the high ground team pushing down right there, but in the
Hayes,
end,
that
it looks
guy.
like
Woo,
Enough and
let's go Hayes.
Did put up the tags that matter there, Jacob. What a game, right? This is what
W
FNCS is all about.
Hayes.
And this is exactly what I'm talking about. We all
I
have
know
our
many
names,
things
our
about
tier
this trio
ones,
that I
the
can't wait to tell
superstars in
you.
the limelight. We all expect them to get these big game wins, just like Muzz did, and take the rest of the day off. But when this happens, an underdog team rises to the top. It just makes me oh so happy that they have a chance to really prove that they are one of the best against the best in the finals. But that's going to do it for game number 2. Zeke, what do you think of all that action?
Man, game number 2. I believe
He played that well, though. He did play that well.
There that Bugha's gonna win. And I thought, man, this is that time where we just make sure Vivid is wrong. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter because Vivid was still wrong. Just wanted to point that out. Man, congratulations to Enough, Hayes, and I'm so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce that third name in this trio. So congratulations. Either way, they're gonna be going to the finals next weekend. That's got to be big. If this
All
is
right,
their
15 more
first
seconds,
time,
chat. If you guys
they've
want to win
gotta
some V-Bucks,
just
type
feel
about Hayes
over
in
the
chat.
moon. They've got to be so
Keep an eye on your
excited.
Twitch whispers as well.
Now, of course,
I'm gonna
that
heat up some
next
food in a
step
second. I'm getting
begins
hungry.
Planning, but still, congrats to them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of questions as to exactly where they came from our commentators, and I honestly
Yeah,
have
I'm
the same
kind of asking the
question,
same thing.
especially when you
Yeah.
look at the fact that they ended off that game with 12 eliminations as well.
All right,
And
well, cool.
not
There's
just
chat. Thank you
that,
for
but they
entering.
were landing contested
Now, we're doing
over an
V-Buck giveaways
Alpha
after every set
Oasis,
lobby game for the
but
rest
I'm
of the season.
guessing
So,
that maybe
EU
having
and
Muzz,
NA.
Yapko, and Rise, who were landing just to the northeast of them,
One second,
being
hit my finger real
gone
quick.
after game 1, gave them a new opportunity to kind of shine in this game, Vivid.
Yeah, I'm talking about shining, right? The format's also getting a chance to kind of shine right here. You were mentioning that they were contested in that first game. They went down 31st spot, right? So it's like, yeah, you can kind of have that bad game, or when you're contested, it can kind of be like, oh, you only really get to play half of the games. Well, if you make the most out of those opportunities, just like this trio did, right? Get off spawn and pick up a victory royale and go straight to finals. A huge game for them. And I have to go ahead and note here, Zeke, that listen, we're actually 2 for 2 on the day so far, with those low ground teams kind of winning over the high ground teams. So might be something that we need to keep our eye on.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting, right? We're pretty used to seeing the other side. It's all about high ground. High ground wins games. High ground wins tournaments. How often have we said that? Low ground, though, looking to make a bit of a statement out of here. So I do like to see that. Now, of course, more happened in that game. But first, we have to go to break. When we return, we'll break more action down. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you after this.
Okay. I'm so sick of my ears being all blocked. I can't hear anything properly. It's so weird. Bugha's team got mad unlucky. Yeah, but that was still Quell. I'm really not worried for the T1 teams in this lobby. Got the win reaction. Nice. I'm not gonna get banned, right?
Nice, nice.
Oh, wow,
Stay up, you win,
really
you win, you
young.
win. Nice, Hayes. Stay in zone, get your finish, go get your finish.
It's only y'all,
Nice. Hayes, go get
You can hear the intensity, bro. You can hear how much it means to them.
Hayes, shot. Kill him, Hayes. You need to kill him. You need to keep Hayes. Nice.
Oh my god!
Nice, let's go! Let's go!
Crazy.
Nice.
Right. So there's a couple things we want to discuss with you guys. We want to talk about Bugha. We want to talk about Clix and Yamzo. We want to talk about Noxie, Virgo, and Mason.
Who won that?
Why don't we just kind of kick things off here? Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs.
We're talking about team one?
They almost had like that high.
I want to learn more about him. I know nothing about it.
That's still amazing, but we saw for that in that moment, that like final few moments of the game where Clix kind of stumbled, right? And I love that the casters kind of call it out. He kind of goes for that chug, but then obviously between all the chaos, it's like, I've got to back off. I'm so sorry. And then it kind of falls apart after that. But to kind of see them picking up steam and like, now we're starting to place higher and higher. I love that. I feel like once this trio kind of gets going, it's going to be really difficult to stop them.
Yeah, what I really love about this trio, and I think it happens a lot, especially in these end games for the group stages, is that our trios tend to go down to duos. And obviously in a lot of trios, there is that star competitor, that one player that really kind of can carry the rest of the trio. And I really feel like with this trio right here, any kind of combo of a duo, whether that is Clix and Yamzo live together, Higgs and Yamzo, Higgs and Clix, they can carry it regardless of what position they are put into. And now obviously Clix didn't exactly play out the way that he wanted to, but Yamzo there, of course, with the Clix slide going.
The Clix
just
slide.
Tried so hard, almost had that
The
last
Clix
elimination,
slide.
but unfortunately missing out. But sitting currently in 4th place, how apropos.
Yeah, and Yamzo having another Yamzo-esque kind of performance.
Oh boy. We're really not beating the accusations. If they win game 4, it's getting crazy.
Of those games that we've seen so far today, they've been pretty similar. I mean, they go ahead and they find that refresh and they drop down like a 11 zone to kind of cut off everybody in the front of that moving zone. But for some reason, they can't go ahead and kind of grasp onto that position and actually hold on to kind of fight for the win.
That logic's pretty terrible,
Still,
Breezy. I'm not going to lie, bro.
very well
Because that 100% has happened. That's already happened
Yeah,
on
I mean,
EU,
as
bro.
long as they kind of get probably like 1 or 2 more good
But-
games in, they maybe don't need that VR. I'd like to see the VR, but like, yeah, they're still performing well. I like you were saying, I love how Yamzo kind of used that zip line up. Like Yamzo's that guy that he's like, okay, how do I get from point A to point B? But how do I get there without you realizing I could get there and kind of like pulling off these like super slick plays? I love Yamzo. Bugha, Rapid Threats, also performing really well here in this last game. Again, we thought it was going to go to Bugha, right? I thought, okay, Bugha's striking. It's time. He's going to try and claim one of these spots. It doesn't quite go that way, but to still make it to as far as second, that's huge for consistency.
Oh yeah, definitely going to be sitting.
I don't think you even pay attention to what people are saying about Breezy. I think they're trying to say one of the players isn't old enough to
From
compete.
game 1 to game 2.
Oh, they're cheating, but either way, it doesn't matter. I'm not getting into it, but like,
and Rapid were kind of staying on second height, and there was a moment where I thought they were staying on second height because they potentially wanted to take height, but they never really made that move. However, we can see in game 2 that they are able to make that transition.
I don't get involved, man.
And
Not my
control
job.
high ground, but like you were saying, Zeke, just not exactly the right factors that they needed to be able to carry that into a victory royale.
Poor Rapid. I was like watching this game and I was like, Rapid, what the heck happened? You guys were on height, chilling, and then all of a sudden it was like, whoa, Rapid's like,
it's really
going
kids
down
just
to the
spamming buff.
storm.
They're not even timing them out, bro. They're just saying the
Got
exact same
chopped
message
down.
over and over
It's
again.
a
Just getting
little
timed out.
roll into the storm right there. Unfortunate. But hey, listen, me and Kelly were kind of talking about it earlier, right? That damage dealt by threats, it's usually always up there. He's in first right now. He's got over 3,000 damage dealt in just 2 games.
Wow.
Doing so good. And, you know, listen, they had that high ground out there. Oh, they were going to win. Snuck into that second place.
Yeah, that's what I go with Cody. Whenever people ask what I do for work, I say I'm an online male entertainer.
Consistency.
Yeah, I obviously the stress it just went up like a notch, right? But we still have 3 games. We still have 3 more victory royales, and of course top 5 in consistency. Which if you're watching, just look at like top 10, right? As long as they make it in top 10, it's basically top 5. But yeah, I'm super excited to get into more games. The competition is heating up. So now it's on the players. Do we go for it? What do we have to do with only 3 games left to go? It is now time. With that being said, casters, take it away for game number 3.
That's right, Jacob. I mean, look, we are getting there. Just a couple of more opportunities now to make it through. But if nothing else, you see new teams can make their first appearances now, and that's something big to celebrate.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. 56 players to start the day looking for their first FNCS finals. Some of them have already achieved that dream. There's 3 games left though, Monster. Will it be our OGs, our staple names that we know? Will it be some of the new superstars that are rising up the ranks? I'm just excited to see who overall will punch their ticket to the FNCS finals. With game 3 ready, let's see who's next on that list. This is a big moment right here, because this is the halfway point throughout the day overall, game number 3, and this is pivotal for those teams that might not necessarily pick up that game win, because you still have a chance to play through that leaderboard, and you don't want to put yourself into too big of a hole going into game 4 and 5.
Yeah, most definitely, right? There's multiple ways you can make your way through to the finals. Consistency is most definitely an opportunity and an option for most. But hey, at the end of the day, it's so sweet to pick up that big victory.
Uncon Demon Dojo now.
Highlighting.
When it possessed? Oh, wait, no, that's not possessed, sorry. Yeah, Jez has got Uncon. Nice.
How Bugha's team managed to give up that high ground spot. It just shows you anything can happen. And that's why you got to be, you know, super dialed into what teams are on the high ground and how things are playing out, because you never really know. Jumping back on over here. Uh-oh. Crime City. The action never ends here. It seems like Frogs, Vortec, and Bacon once again are just back in the mix.
There'll still be 93
here.
players? Yeah, someone hasn't connected, unfortunately. Someone did not connect. Man, Thermite looks crazy on high settings. High visual settings is insane with a Thermite.
Just trying to kind of hunker down that position. They did split Crime City throughout the first couple of games so far, and now they're just putting all their attention. Get the vault, get the gold. There's extra chests. There's a lot of good loot. So if you didn't get the loadout that you wanted right out of the gates, that's going to be a second chance added overall, and it kind of flips the script on to this team of Jers, Rain, and Civ. Do you go and try to contest that, or do you just continue to loot up?
He attacks the Private 12
of loot in Crime City.
Come on, Rivid. Come on, Rivid.
They don't even necessarily have to engage in order to get the loadout that they need.
Yeah, that is right. And, you know, it's a very common strategy for most teams in these types of lobbies. But Optics, Viper, and Alpha sneaking up. A little angle here onto Rivid. Full shield crack and some white tags going to give him all the confidence in the world.
Got that plasma just kind of bursting through all the other side.
No, Rivid, not my boy. No, he got murdered.
Gets the elimination.
Yeah, Kai's with the Private 4.
No teammates in sight. So that showed to me that Rivid was probably just trying to disengage away from, draw the enemies away from somewhere else, and he's just really trusting in his teammates. You see him there in the distance to slowly but surely, Monster, get that reboot card and give him a second chance, especially with the zone already looking like it's pulling a little bit towards the west.
And there's a couple ways they could do that, so we'll see what route that team ends up taking. So we jump back over to Liam's team here, just outside of Demon's Dojo. So just kind of devolving away. There's another squad inching their way over the mountain.
Need the Bucke win. Come on, I want the Bucke win, even for just the celebration.
Definitely know what's going on there. Jumping back to Maji here. Shiny Shafts. Looking good for this trio right now. Just Vixie left.
Damn.
We saw what Vixie did earlier. Vixie is kind of nice with it. And yeah, he'll fall, but you know, not without putting his stake in it.
He is Conan. Yeah, Liam's in this game. Yeah.
To King Vixie.
Very
interested in seeing what this guy's going to continue to do in the coming months here. He just keeps working at things.
I honestly thought this was a full trio, but they're going over the reboot. I see in the mini-map, Gloom is just watching underneath. He said, hey, that was my reboot van. Now he has to look elsewhere, hoping to maybe get some surge out of this player out of the sky. That's at least going to help their overall team as he gets the knock onto Gavin. Not really too much of a loss for them. Overall, outside of it being their trio, he really didn't have too much loot, but since he dropped right into the box, they are going to be able to get that revive. So Gloom is just going to keep the pressure up, get what damage he can from Surge, and maybe try to find his way back to his team, because you see there's nobody in sight on that mini-map, so it's a dangerous position if he were to stay there.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Oh, Clix is keying someone. We're going to the train? We're going away from the black market.
Clix on the hunt right now.
What the hell?
Talking about making solo plays. He's kind of leading the charge here as Zone Higgs playing catch up right now. Ooh, scanner coming out. You don't get to see that too often, but
they usually carry it to the black market. I'm not sure why they're keying this trio though.
Right. Clix backs off here.
Thinking for a moment, interesting to see them the south of Lone Wolf Lair, since typically they loot up their drop spot, they get that vault, they get all the gold, and then make their way up towards Magic Mosses to try to use it to get the splashes out of the black market and either the collateral or the exotic chug. And I think they probably said, hey, this might be a good
17 assists on Higgs,
but then it's just
8 on Yomzo. Damn, fragging IGL, baby. The future.
Back to the script that we wrote up that got us here. And I like what they're doing, realizing what's actually going on and not wanting to stray too far away from what has proven to work for this trio.
And although they haven't gotten a win just yet, they've made all appearances so far into the end game. That is really what matters most right now. Sticking true to that consistent game plan. This is arguably the best practice you're going to get in the wake of the FNCS finals that's coming up. Mason, Virgo, and Noxy after that huge endgame appearance. But
oh my god, cooking code both here, both my dads.
Points. Very respectable performance so far.
What did we just do? What the fuck's happening? What is going on?
And not the best game one, 24th, 0 eliminations. What? That last game, 3rd place, 8 eliminations. Really kind of making up for lost time with that 0-point game, number 1. And that puts them at least in 12th place in the overall leaderboard.
1.5 multiplier for day 2 grands. Nah, they got rid of the multiplier, man.
Last couple of games, if they don't get the win, of course, they can probably finish the top.
They're trying to sneak up. Well, that didn't work.
Kin, Snakes, and Mystic just end up in a different exchange, trading some shots. This is at the very southernmost part of the map. And does look like they're just trying to disengage, work their way over towards Mass Meadows, or at least that direction overall, to try to find a safer way to make their way in towards zone. Because if they were to continue going north from here, they have that entire mountain range that they would have to fight up against.
I gotta say, his team needs to catch up. There's another trio rotating in. It was the right call to get out of there. Look at the wide shot here, but Snakes
and Kin, to go to LA. I'm excited for the pro-am.
The call was already made, but they kind of greedily stood around fishing for tags, and now I'm sure they're regretting it. It's Anonia,
happy Easter eggs, bro.
and Corsi right now who are making a play.
Very busy Easter for me. I'm excited to have my chill day in a couple days.
Corsi, though, taking massive damage from the high ground team. They're going to come in there feeling good about the damage. And the shield
we got out of that.
Anonia, though, mechanically slips out of there. Pressure's on though, 1v1 here. Gives up the high ground once again.
I'm not too worried about the flag coding. I'm doing it at night and they got me business, so I'll just sleep for like 8 hours, man. It's really not that bad.
But status is on him, Jacob.
That pressure is just
all the flights that I did to the Middle East and Europe at the end of last year for DreamHack and stuff has made me realize the straight flight to NA is really not that bad.
Fly at the picnic, just buzzing around, landing shots. They didn't necessarily get the elimination, but they made it much harder for that team to survive.
Easter egg hunts and dying eggs are thing in Australia. Easter egg hunts, yes. Dying eggs, not so much.
We're still using this as an opportunity to still accumulate those storms.
But Australians on average are far less Christian than America, so Easter's not as big of a deal here.
Will be one of the most advantageous positions in the map.
Yep. First instance we're seeing of a pretty southern pool right now, but too early to determine or tell where things are going to go. Just outside the seaport city. Nah,
jet lag won't do anything, man.
Sticking to the true.
Dude, I wake up at midnight here, man. Like, what do you mean? I live in a state of jet lag.
OG, if you will.
Are you saucy with the Prime for 16?
Towers, big holds here, ramping out, right? We've seen threats kind of poised up like this time and time again. And notice when the surge comes around, they're usually about 1,000 above, right? They really don't have too much problems typically fishing for tags. Threats almost baiting out other teams to just go for that brazen exchange there.
Brazen.
Just looking at.
But yeah, I'm getting to LA like a week early anyway. But even then, man, like I'm currently on an NA West good time zone anyway. You know what I mean? I wake up at midnight in Australia, which is about 10 a.m. No, I think it's like 7 a.m. in LA. So
which has helped them kind of rotate through those slow starts. Bylot, Aaron, and Nut.
Jet lag is just not real. No, jet lag is real.
Flooded frogs, and some people might look at as a blessing, a curse, depending on who you're.
Messing up your circadian rhythm, man.
Early storm surge always a plus, but for them, 90 points throughout those first 2 games, putting them towards the top of the leaderboard overall. think started this game 9th on that leaderboard. Obviously, -2 teams, just a few consistent spots away from actually qualifying for the FNCS finals if it were to end now.
Coming back with Bucke.
Yeah, I don't know, I've never had fish tacos, but I really like. I mean, I'll give it a try. I'll give it a try when I'm there. I'll find a good food truck. I don't know if I want to risk. You guys said food trucks have like higher health standards than restaurants, though. So maybe I'll only trust the food trucks for
have to be careful how things are going to start moving from here on outwards. The zone's going to end up pulling west, so soft threats already noticing. Oh, wait a second, we got to go. So they're sticking to their usual plan of swinging around the outskirts. Big fight happening here. This one's looking a little messy.
What's going on here?
A lot of material being committed right now. Evan, Xanda, and Sandalit down to just 7.
Because we want to be the predator. Here. Makes sense.
But the gold rush effect still gives them plenty of opportunity.
Confused why we're taking such a big fight here, but honestly. Predator peak, the spot's fight over.
Where they are.
Almost feels like the lack of loot has them feel pressure.
Weapons are not looking too hot.
This is the only way they're going to get mats in their eyes. And on the other side, they feel
these stringers are tailing for 9.
Trying to fight back. Let them make a mistake, land a good shot, and then you can use that as a green light to go.
Pass the prime.
So as of now, they know they don't have the elevation advantage. They're forced to kind of converge into this box until they see an opportunity or a mistake made from the other side. As you see some third-party shots starting to bring in over on in the distance. Some of those are going to connect on the Zonda. And even though that's not a lot of damage, that could be the difference.
Yeah, this is not going to go very well if they can't find elimination here. Either that or disengage now while you have time.
Bro, some of these fights are dragging out. There's still 82 alive, man. Like, damn.
But man, no
I keep feeling with the. I feel like I keep zoning out a bunch, and I'm like, man, I really should be more locked in. But I realize like, almost nothing's happening half the time.
Sometimes it's okay to just call it. Oh, wait a second. Another team starting a third party here, looking to break things out. Fraggy AK is like, nope, I'm going to go ahead and maintain the structure here. And now it's causing them more material than they would like.
Such a tough situation because we're seeing both sides just a huge lack of resources overall, and even if they survive, as the game continues on, it almost looks like they're in the center of zone, so more and more teams will look at this place as the place to be, but he runs into one. Sam's going to be the first one going down. That opens up that chance for them to take a 3v2. It continues to fire off. The smoke going
127,
down to
the flick.
with the med miss, but it's causing a little bit of confusion. They don't know exactly where to go, and the full trio will be able to stay alive, pick up a second elimination onto Evan as well.
Because he was crazy today? Yeah, well, he was the best group, but...
I don't blame the team jumping in, but there were definitely other options there. Clearly, Flexi Frag.
I think it's also having P play super aggro last group definitely kept the spice going through group 1.
The early moments of this battle, but it is what it is. You make your bed. Now you got to lay in it.
So the question we want to answer, Rafon?
Have a whole game in front of them as well. They got to get going and get to replenishing their material counts as well. Still have the river there to play off of, so shouldn't be too bad. Fergo knocks in Mason. Know when to disengage, and this is very reminiscent of a more veteran move here. And you're really seeing the two sides of the coin, if you will.
Yeah, they know it's like high chance the zone is centering up or pulling in one direction. So being on the side of that mountain is all fine and dandy. Early game, trying to get surge. But you don't want to be stuck on the top of that mountain with a max pull, because even if you do have the launch pad, that leaves you kind of susceptible to taking shots along the path. So I do like what's on the mind right now for Virgo, Noxie, Mason. Rotate early, beat a lot of these other teams to the punch. And because they're rotating underground, they're relatively safe every step of this way for a free rotation to where they need to be.
Seeing a lot of good things out of Hound, Carillion, and Northern's team today. One of the few teams on the lobby that have experienced their fair share of finals. They've stepped foot in the arena a couple times before.
Maybe Max, maybe. How's he going to survive? I'm pretty sure, man.
So they're southeast of the zone. One of the few teams down here making a dead side rotate, and they have just enough damage to maintain their way through this area. That's not the most comfortable amount of damage threshold, so they will have to likely get into a fight here. Little do they know that they're rotating right into Listen, who's kind of out of position for his team. Well, look at this fight here, Jacob. Clix, Zone Hay is getting active right now.
Yeah, a good portion of this lobby forced to rotate south. Whether you landed with feed, magic monsters, flooded frogs, you might find yourself rotating through this area of Crime City, especially since there is a black market there if you do possess some of that gold to replenish what you might have lost. As Clix, Yamzo,
J-Neck with the Prime for 4.
they know with as
Hey,
much
Congo?
action is
You
going
see?
on, not to get too antsy. Take your time. Let your opponents make the mistakes or let those chances come to you. They do have the elevation overall to kind of spot.
So
not
many
necessarily
weird big
just the
fights,
teams that are
man.
right below them, but every team that they're gonna have to rotate into here in a few seconds.
Yeah, it's one of the worst things to
Kind of
happen,
shows
too,
how
is when
different the
you have
map
two
plays
trios
out when
below
Pete's not
you.
in the lobby around Crime
And
City.
of course, these are the teams
I feel like
that
we never
land
see
up
any
at Crime
fights on these
City,
mountains,
so
but it's because
very
most people aren't sitting on them.
Locations for these
Kind of
opponents.
insane.
Higgsy Yamzo,
I'm like, why have I never seen a lot of big fights for these huge elevation areas? Like, they're big power positions. It makes sense people would fight for them, but
much longer are they
I
gonna
think it's
mess
because most
around
people
the
don't want to
zone
sit on the
here?
more pieces running around south.
Seems like that question is about to be answered. They're about to make a move here shortly. But the Surge shoots the warning.
'Cause I've
out,
never
so
once
everyone
seen
knows
Clix
now
here.
What exactly is at stake here? Clix, Yamzo, Higgs seem to be content with their damage. They're gone.
51 above, though. This team definitely needs
Almost
more.
looks like they were lurking for elimination. As soon as the zone pulled towards the south, might have been Yamzo. Somebody made that call and said, look, we got to go. We can get our damage. We can get eliminations later, especially with how quick they're making that first rotation. A Civ, Rain, Airs just trying to push their way into the box. They know one's weak on the other side. The Medman smoke is down, so a little bit of confusion. They might not know exactly where they're at as they jump in and outside of the box, end up taking a big shot. Civ just taking a little bit more than he can handle that situation, but it's a beautiful sacrifice because they were able to separate Jake down below, pick up the first of 3 eliminations.
Yeah, that med miss, double-edged sword.
Exact set.
Gives
Yeah,
you,
you
of
joined
course,
today,
those
bro.
Quick heals. However, it's such a distraction. All that mist making it hard to
You know,
see
we'll tease
through,
this on
almost
EU.
dual purposing
Fred
as a
Oxy and
mini
CZB
smoke
probably the
bomb,
2
if
main
you will.
ones, man. Pradaj, but he was like
This is
super
the
heavily
Crime
con.
City
I'll do a
Nets
recap
here.
tonight on
Davies
YouTube, man.
Rangers firing Aztec, a Civ coming out on top, making good work of the team here and finding the damage that they needed. The rotate, right? So now it's time to go here. Take a look at the perspective. So
Nice little toe shot.
had the build open and Davies just wasted no time there.
Scuffed his new kicks right there with that shot to get him down, and then just immediately the pressure from a below and on top. And you're seeing a lot of these teams late to rotate off the side of these mountains, not finding the easiest way down. Blake
new
is gonna
kicks.
get eliminated overall. And you see they're 32 above the damage threshold and continuously falling, and now they find themselves below overall. So as a duo, this is not going to be the easiest road, but hopefully they can use their experience to help them out as they jump onto one, miss that first shot, but they have them separated into 1v1 towards the top. Sales, if he has the confidence, he can try to take
Sales at 19 below, though.
He's 19 below.
Oh, no.
This is a very important situation that Sales has now found himself in, but no.
Oh, no.
Blake is down, so wait a second. It's just Sinetto and Sales, actually. I misread the situation. I thought at least they had the whole trio, but things seem to be crumbling here right before their eyes. And now even the low ground team opting to take shots up top. They might need some more damage, too.
They are Vapor. Yeah, I was given mission to use the
lucky thing they do
joystick
have
at Pro
going
Am,
for
man.
them
I
right
can't
now
play
is
without
they
it,
position
so.
themselves on the side of the zone or the middle overall, so they know that whole eastern side is going to open up, and they don't even have to focus on it for the next couple of minutes because they know nobody's going to be there. They can set their eyes on canyons, crossing, and the whole east or western side of the map where they know teams will have to dip into low elevation territory in order to get across that open land. Otherwise, they're just going to be stacked on the north and the south side of the zone. Either way, that could be a blessing for Sinetto and Sales to try to get some shots on any suspecting players.
Yeah, these tags are very important right now. They're fighting their way out of a desperate situation, a difficult situation, but not an impossible one for them to turn around here. Meanwhile, Carillion just sits down broken, then a 169 onto the teammate there. Liam goes down, and then another one.
Okay, then.
So a three-piece chicken nugget to go for Carillion Northern.
Wow, okay.
Putting them on the map big time right now. 430 damage above. Just do the math.
Did we shoot through the first wall? I'm so confused. What happened on the first wall? Did we not shoot through the wall?
Very nice for them.
I might need to rewatch that back, and replay sells a lot with bugs, but I swear we shot through the wall.
Right? It's not too bad now.
Yeah, it's only a matter of how many, I guess, healing resources they have, whether it's big pots, minis, just HP for them to kind of recuperate. They got themselves a good amount of elevation on that south side of the zone, and it's going to pull in their favor. So they're not going to have to do much. Dozier Natmo's Aiden, they're the ones that have a long road ahead of them as a team trying to fight. They get that first down onto Flexi in the second elimination, and since it was only a duo still alive, they're all sent back to the
Dolls, yeah.
Yeah, we knew Flexi's Deluxe's team was spending a little too much time in the zone, and you can tell how desperate they were to just try to find some positioning there, but one bad rotate's all it takes. Too soon, and all of a sudden you're just caught out just like that. Natmos, you can see from his angle, just kind of get caught in this web. Gloom's team going for a little bit of the mid-ground positioning here, but this is some really awkward terrain to mess with. We're going up this very steep mountain here, Jacob.
Oh, this is a weird end game, man. This is going to be a real bad one. Whoever gets high ground here wins this game for sure.
They're going to start making their way up to this kind of middling position, but not over-committing because it can pull either way. So smart decision, I think, to play this general area. However, it's a decision nonetheless. You're gonna have to live
no
with
one's
it.
home.
They're 50 below though, so Clixions and Higgs don't have the damage they need just yet.
Yeah, they're looking off.
Oh, bit of damage, but not a lot. Nice.
The box fight with a pre-edit towards the top, but they said, wait, just give us a second. Iamzo said, look off towards this edge, and you see how many players are having to rotate off that canyon crossing mountain in their direction. So not only are they going to be able to find
Bucky's
surge,
positioning
they get
for it. Bucky's
elimination,
positioning for
and
it.
now they give themselves options, a little bit of flexibility that Sales and Sinetto do not have. But I will say, from what we saw them before till now, they've increased their elevation up the side of that mountain tenfold. They just need to figure out where they're going to get a damage. 124. That's a good amount below the storm surge, but in the next zone, it's going to get exponentially worse if they don't find the damage right now.
And just 39 bullets, right? So notice Sales is really trying to be
Barney with the prime 45. Expand.
Strategic, if you will, with what's left of his
As Bucke the jump gun, he's just dropping at the fields, man.
Have that luxury to just fire at boxes, so it's going to be all the more harder for them to
no.
get actual tags. There it is. Search turns on.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, we're going to do something. Oh, we waited way too long.
It's weakened, but no, the edit already came through. It's closed, and it's just a matter of moments now. Snakes and team see what's going on here. They pick up the elimination, and Sinetto will fall now.
It's a few situations like that we've seen.
Nice.
A player, a duo, or even a full trio.
Well, Listen's team got kind of blessed here, but can they hold it? They got good mats.
And get almost into the very next fight that they see.
Zone pulls off. If Bucke plays this well, Bucke can actually take this.
Top of the mountain status, power, Listen. They have all the time.
Oh, now Bucky's rotating down. Quanti does love high ground. Oh, Quanti gets beat by Bucke, though.
Of anybody waiting to do the exact same thing, Quanti freeze. They might be a duo, but that's a duo that you have to be wary of because they can turn things around at a moment's notice.
And look, they're being very cautious of that team there, but I wonder if they're too early for the rotate right now. Now they're going to allow that team to build on top of them, so...
Ooh, this could be interesting.
Can't catch too much tunnel vision.
Clix fighting again. Oh my god. Or constant action for this trio.
And drop teams in the mid-ground. Now jumping up to 7 eliminations. They had no elims coming into this end game here, and all of a sudden they are just putting up the numbers here as we expect of them. And most importantly, so much material to work with when you need it most here.
Ooh, okay, nice. 133 builds here. Looking real good.
Credit, the full trio credit.
Bro, what a zone. No way it goes back up. Did Bucke drop all the way down? He dropped like halfway down, okay.
Zone actually pulls over the top of the mountain. They wanted to increase their positioning, make it a little bit easier for them to get up the side of the mountain while every other team at this moment is trying to battle their way up. Bugha, rapid threats because of their split decision early on in this game to accumulate surge from different boxes. They're 275 above the damage threshold.
Oh, Bucke popping a heal grenade's a bit rough. Oh, only 2 above for Bucke.
Even Bucke.
I mean, double control. I'm surprised they haven't been struggling more on surge, but
wisely
come on, Bucke. Come on, Bucke.
Above the rest. Now they don't have a lot of material. However, they've already gotten up and over the mountain, right? So very few can read these zones well as some of the vets. They know exactly where they need to be, but this great positioning has cost them plenty of damage now, so they will have to work for a refresh here. Unfortunately, it's going to be likely Bugha's team that they're going to end up jumping in on. The options are pretty limited at this point here.
Cam goes down.
Ground,
it's Bugha. Bugha versus Bucke. No! This kid is Bugha.
In the mix.
Wait.
Finds some exchange.
Wait, double res?
Double res? At least in the game for now, but talk about
go, Bucke. Show us that Dallas ping.
Yeah, Cam just
never
lost
mind.
focus for a second.
Oh,
Went to
oh,
look at
shit.
high ground. They immediately
What the
pushed their
fuck?
way in, got the
Oh,
down.
shit,
Now
go
Threats is
Bucke.
struggling to find his way back.
Yo,
But
fuck him up,
he
Bucke,
goes to grab
damn.
a few
Oh
extra
my
time,
God,
but it's
shit on.
Bugha that takes the
Oh my God,
sacrifice to keep
Bucke.
Threats into the game.
He's
And
got that
he
gold
reunited the
pump.
front side of the zone
Hey,
with
Bucke
Rapid.
has had some of the
They might
craziest
just
pump
be a
aims
duo
since the
monster,
very
but
beginning.
the duo, I feel like, can make things work as Bucke makes
Bucke
his way
with a
down
strong
below.
shotgun is a
Otis
different
there on the
breed.
side. They have 4 eliminations. They have 2 different chug to try to get the HP and shield up.
Come on,
but they have
Bucke, hold
so
on,
many
son.
players
Higgs goes down.
and around
Yomzo
them.
goes down. That means Clix is probably down
Keeping the
too.
dream alive for the team right now, as is Threats here in the mid ground, and Threats still fighting his way through with Rapid here rotating as a duo attack.
If this power team gets the free win, this is gonna be crazy.
Listen in status. Continue to maintain the king positioning over the lobby.
Never mind. They're a little bit too high. They're a bit too high. They have no base fight. He's dead. Status is dead. Why are we double? Wait, why are we double waterfalling? What? Just waterfall together.
It is inevitable. Meanwhile, Rapids on the ultimate low out of mats here has to play for a refresh. He finds some mats here at the edge of Storm. It's 2 players there, but he's out of
Rapids
mats.
is such an awkward
He's
spot,
caught in a
man.
Bit of a back and forth scenario there, but a down body is going to be a little bit of a boon for him. There goes a couple of mats to work with. Can't even find Threats in all of this.
Come on, Bucke. The dynamic duo, Bucke and Oakers. Come on.
Bucke and Oak is still alive right now.
Is high ground going to run out of gas too soon, though?
Health to work with here, Jacob.
I want to see Bucke somehow take this high. Come on.
But he got separated too far from
Oh,
Rapid.
Mason's going for it. Noxie, Mason.
Staying in the middle. A fight for high ground. He's going to break out. Noxie's the only one standing. Virgo, Mason, they had to drop down low. Maybe they're out of builds, but listen, power, status.
Noxie's got it there,
2 of these
baby.
players qualified for their first major finals last season. They're looking for a repeat, but they just get knocked into the backside of zone. Listen, that's a
Bucke,
double.
go Bucke.
Bucke's still fighting it
Oh
out,
my God, go
trying to shoot
Bucke.
up, and he
Chug,
gets
chug.
another elimination
Wait.
on the status. The
Oh.
tables have turned. Bucke fans are on the edge of their seats
Come
right
on.
now.
3-1-3, baby. Wait, they can actually win if they win this high ground. This is so sketchy, though. Oh my God. Bucke was looking young. He's looking young. Aiden versus Fusiak. Dolzy SP versus Fusiak. This is some underrated trios.
Teams have been finding themselves winning all day long, but Natmos has to time this perfectly. He has to
Fuse has got a pretty rough spot. Wait. Nah, Fuse has to lose this surely from the low ground. Yeah. No, unlucky for Fuse, bro.
If he can get the refresh here, there it is. The mats to keep him in the game. The full finishes, the siphons are keeping
Wait a
him
second.
alive
Wait,
in the
is Aiden
storm
gonna
here,
die?
and he could be sending himself all the way through.
I thought Aiden was up playing the heal off, but he was kind of dying too.
That's 9 eliminations.
I love
by
Fuse, but
himself.
Dolzier's team's good too.
12 eliminations for the team overall. Dozier, Natmos, and Aiden have now just achieved FNCS finals with a big game win, and as a trio, that will mark their 13th
Havoc taking
finals
Beaky.
appearance in their
Oh,
careers.
we'll make it.
Respectable plays all the way through to the very end.
Fuck, we'll make a
Honestly,
Bucke. Chat, if you guys want some V-Bucks, I'll do a Bucke in chat. Bucke's going crazy that time. I was trying to think of which one of the names is easy to spell. They're all pretty hard to spell. Let's just do Bucke. Yeah, I don't know how Clix died, Chang. I need a clip though.
Difficult here for game number 3. Take a look at this one more time. You have to give this guy all the respect in the world. Natmos putting up
W
the
Bucke.
shots and a 12
Big
elimination
Sticky,
victory royale.
Big
will
Ages,
send them
Beast
through
Tree,
coming out of
Havoc,
game
Beaky,
number 3.
No Quad,
And
Raylex,
better,
Tim, Troll
of
King,
course,
Charlie,
to break it down than our
Barney,
analysts
Janek,
over at the
Congo,
desk.
Seek. Thanks for subs, chat. Appreciate it. If I missed your subs, so sorry. Thank you for following the
Congratulations
subs.
to the trio. I love right there at the end, right there, little quick reload to the shotgun. Like, hold on, just one moment. Hold on. Okay, all right. I'm going to the finals. Nice try though. Man, a 12 elimination VR here at the halfway
God.
point. You
I thought we were
know
done with
they've
this
gotta be going
shitty-ass
crazy.
word.
To just watch in that moment, it's like, just think about you being Namos' teammate, right? Just be like, okay, that's 1, that's 2. You're still going. You're crazy. You're cracked. We're in finals.
I mean, and to look at actually their history of the play-ins, they barely scraped by. I think they were 91st.
Oh, we got it? All right, let me
overall
see,
in
let me
the
see.
play-ins. So to go from almost not even making
I'll save it for the break, chat. I'll save the Clix 4 for the break.
Ticket to the Major 2 finals. That's
All right, got it here. Sweet. I'll save it for the break. They're gonna throw the break in like 30 seconds. All right, 10 more seconds, chat. Time to Bucke in chat. You want some V-Bucks?
Incredible stuff right there. And speaking about scripts, why don't we just go ahead and read off like what I said after game number 2 with the mountain zones, right? Pulling right over the mountain, pulling that right off of it, making it so difficult for most of our teams to actually get a hold of some mats, you know, a little bit of safe ground during the entirety of this game. But for Natmos, Dozier,
All right, chat, we'll call it there. Thank you for
they
entering.
were
Thank you.
able to be the ones that came out on top. Incredible stuff from this trio.
It's, you know, a bit interesting. We were watching so many trios, but actually not able to watch this trio.
Yeah,
at
look, Clix is
all.
dead. Chill. We're gonna go to a fight, like a 3-minute break. We're time to kill. Wait,
Chaos going on in the low ground. You're able to grab a bunch of eliminations. If you stay on this kind of second low ground, you're kind of getting a benefit of both staying low, but also staying a little high as well. And clearly that worked out for them, getting 12 eliminations.
I don't understand what happened to Aiden here. Was Aiden supposed to be up playing the heal off? Because Aiden started dying to zone. Did he like slip down or something?
Going into the finals next week.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Speaking about momentum, right? Kind of the game-winning moment for them is when that high ground chaos kind of been
Expand with the prime.
Listen, and status were the ones controlling it for most of that game, but because of how that zone pulled off the mountain.
Oh yeah,
they
prediction.
weren't able to
Whoops.
actually get close to anybody.
Who is it for the
not
prediction?
able to find any of those refreshes. They were an easy one to kind of kick off of the high ground right there, pick up the high ground and pick up the win.
So it was.
That's right. I love
Bucke
to see it, of
in
course.
third.
There's a couple things we want to highlight from that game, but first, a quick break. When we return, we'll break it all down for you.
Wait,
Stay
did
tuned.
I have Fusiac on the... Well, Fusiac predictions got fucking scammed. Unlucky. I haven't done a scam in a minute. Hell yeah. Yeah, shit on. All right. Let's see how Clix died. Wait, that's his stream. Where was the clip? Oh, it's up here.
Nope.
Oh.
Guys, what the fuck did we just do?
So wait, they all try to sprint jump. They all get caught on someone else's floors and then just walk off. It all happens. Okay. So Higgs just straight runs off. I think Higgs just fully fucked up. We gotta slow this one down. We gotta slow this one down. So I think Higgs just runs off like a fucking idiot. Higgs just goes. I'm pretty sure. I don't think Higgs actually jumped. He just sprinted. Clix jumps, which is fine, but then he gets caught and then steps on the flat. I don't know what the fuck did Yomzo do? How did Yomzo die? I don't know how Yomzo died. What the fuck?
Guys, what the fuck did we just do?
Yomzo's bat broke. So Higgs has no excuse. Clix got a little bit unlucky, and Yomzo got unlucky as well. But like, yeah, it's amazing. Unlucky. Big rips. Oh shit. Oh shit. It was Higgs floor. Oh, that was Higgs floor? Higgs placed the floor that Clix landed on. No. Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, at least they were laughing about it because they know this semi's pretty easy for him. See the Rapid sell? Yeah, Rapid had a rough one. Again, like, this is the group where these tier 1s can't sell, though, because they know they're going to qual. It's right. Clix had to make sure he won the 4th game. It's fine. This is Arkalu, bro. There's a leak there, man. Fuse is in first. My boy, W Fuse. He's playing really well today, though. Bolt's piece? Yeah, Bolt's piece always goes nice, man.
I want to make it known.
Oh, here we go.
I like Vivid. He's cool. All right. Welcome back to the FNCS. 2 games left to go. Don't shake your head, Kelly. Welcome back to the FNCS. Golzer, Natmos, and Aiden got themselves a 12 elim victory royale in the last game. In case maybe you're just tuning in, welcome. We're super glad you're here. In that last game, okay, so, you know, there's like this item called the kneecapper.
Yeah.
And, you know, it could save you from fall damage if used correctly.
Okay.
There was something that happened in this last game with Clix.
I'm watching.
Go ahead and just watch this out.
Okay.
So, yeah, this kneecapper is supposed to save you, but not everyone always uses it that way, unfortunately.
Man, Zeke, you need to make your way over to the analyst role right now because that was quite the breakdown. Eamzo, Higgs, and Clix, listen, they're doing an incredible job, but sometimes, Vivid, it doesn't go the way that you want. And you actually broke down the kneecapper last week for Group 1, so what exactly do you think happened here?
I actually haven't seen this yet, so I'm paying close attention to what actually happened to the trio here. Clix, Higgs, and Eamzo. Kelly was kind of watching the game, right? And yeah, I think the moment's going to be right now. Yeah, as you can see. Yep.
We're going to watch from each POV, are we?
Here we go with Clix.
He didn't sprint.
No, he hit the floor. Higgs didn't sprint. Are we not going to show Higgs? We're not going to show Higgs.
Second of each other.
And we're laughing.
7 elims, though. I mean, hey, listen, it could have been worse.
Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Could have been worse.
You know, it could have been worse. It could have been worse, Kelly.
It's, you know, I think when it comes down to the end games, especially in these group stages, that there's a lot of things that you just, we're watching it again, great.
We're watching it again,
you
great.
can only do so much with
Wow, they're really. Oh, we're going to do it again? Okay.
Fortnite a few seasons ago, you know, there's
okay, cool, sweet. So what happened?
Sometimes, Zeke, this
Wait, what happened to this trio? I didn't see. What happened? Can we show it again?
That's fair, right? It was a very chaotic end zone, and of course.
All right, 2 games left, 3 wins. We got Dolzier, I Am Enough, and Muzz. And our top 5 without a win is we have Fusiak, W, Rapid, Clix, Noxy, and Carillion. Bucke just outside right now. Oh, shit. Bucke.
Just imagine that top 10.
Bucke's going to step it up a little bit. Doing well. We need to do a little bit better.
Also from Bugha, Rapid, and Threats.
Tay with the Prime.
We've seen them now that they've had 3 games, a 5th place, a 2nd place, and now a 6th place. So they're
Wait, Agile, you're in chat?
That top 10, and I really like that consistency.
One sec.
I do feel like there's maybe we haven't
time
seen the team's
in
full
London.
potential yet. It almost
It
feels
is.
like in some ways they're kind of.
Chat, it is currently 12:07 a.m. in London, which means it's Sunday, the 20th of April, which is Agile's birthday. Happy birthday. I had to mute to make sure you get the full effect. To you. Come on, chat. Sing along.
in the top 10,
I wish
which
the whole
is
thing,
not
bro.
an easy feat,
Happy
especially
birthday,
in North
Agile.
America Central. Honestly, a similar game style of what we saw from game 1, which
birthday,
is
man.
them playing that second height, kind of trying to find a good opportunity to take height. But when Bucke's trio jumps in there in that moment, there's only so much you can do to recover.
Yeah, I mean, we got to go ahead and mention Bucke before we jump into the game number 4 right there. Incredible performance.
Have a good day, bro. I know your day hasn't like started yet. It's like really more tomorrow, but
continue their game elsewise. He was looking like he had 0 materials. Great clutch from Bucke there.
That was one of those, oh my God, moments. Of course, you couldn't hear it for me, but like, you know, that's how I felt in the moment. Yeah, I mean, Bucke just went absolutely crazy, chasing down the eliminations. Again, though, Father Mountain, he always takes his toll. But again, I love that you call out, Vivid. You know, the fact that he did eliminate Bugha, that's big, right? Especially for him. Obviously not on the side of Bugha, that's bad. But for Bucke to kind of like really start to hit that momentum again, we're trying to pick up, we're trying to make things happen. We only have 2 games left to go, guys. My stress levels are through the roof.
Yeah, I could probably feel the same way for a lot of our other trios right now, knowing
is the
that
gold FN's thing I tell me the shop? It should be. Yeah, we're guessing it will be. I talked about last night's YouTube video if you want more details,
but 3
but
trios move through. They don't want to have to
that's
go
the gist of it, man.
This is
you fishy with the Prime of 17.
Oh man, Monster Deface, Jacob PR, find your seats on the battle bus. Give us that bird's eye view. Over to you.
Yeah, that's right. I'm ready for the action. Game 4 now, starting to heat things up here. 3 teams have punched their way straight through to the finals, and things are really starting to look
How do pros
interesting.
get it? Anyone going to the Pro-Am got given it.
Who is going to take the blame for Clix's team hitting that floorboard? We'll just have to see, though, as we're jumping in for game number 4.
Game number 4, Monster, and this is really where you kind of look at that leaderboard. If it were the line, it is 127 points as it stands. Carillion, Northern, and Hound are going to be the ones kind of holding on. See if they can make themselves.
This could be a little bit spicy. Bucke's making this a little bit spicy towards the end.
Into the bubble and really not have to worry about it.
Kolensky, they surprised, man.
On the map, some spots have opened up throughout the first 3 games, and you're seeing
you're all good, Agile.
calm down over here towards Demons Jojo, giving Jesse Jerem, Liam, and Ayo Cod a chance to really loot up and think about their strategy going into this game.
I set an alarm on my phone.
Yeah,
I need to know exactly which hour it was.
Now, if you're finding yourself around those 40, 50 points, I mean, you are in
you watch the Star Wars Fortnite announcement? Probably not, man. So I'm a bit worried it's going to drag out and be really boring, and I've got a really busy couple days, man.
Unless you make 2 masterful games out of these last couple opportunities. But for folks like this team here, they have everything it takes so far to be in that consistent conversation for the remaining spots. What do you think that point cutoffs is going to be? Around 180, 200? How far do you think we got to take it?
I think around like 180. That's been kind of the lowest so far for the most part that it has been. So I would think 180, 200, that should be your goal. And they already got a first knock in this situation. So a 3v2, something that's been splitting up, and you see the scanner going down. All the positions are going to be revealed. It's all about how big
this team here
are going to be able to continue to try
this
to push
team here, the
fight.
users.
As you jump on over Clix,
Good threes on East, or it is, yeah.
Business as usual for them. Only one of them's going to focus on breaking open the vault. The other two are going to loot the outskirts of Lone Wolf Lair, get shots where possible, but really take note of teams that might be walking towards that black market, because those are the ones they really have to worry about most.
It's always those teams that are lurking in the area. All in God's hands. Maji and Gavin continuing the Shiny Shafts fight. This is a
nice
recurring battle happening here. Vixie's going to be the first to fall. Usually he's the one to go down. We've seen so far him being the clutch factor.
Damn! Oh my God!
7's going to fall.
3 elims, okay, buddy.
Well, Ian, all in God's hands. Just really making work of these teams here.
Rapid Bugha threats. Uncontested over here towards Seaport, game after game after game. There's a lot of loot over towards Seaport, and it's kind of crammed in these buildings, so you can't necessarily easily shoot for Surge until you're looted up and ready to go. It's going to primarily be up to threats, up to Rapid, trying to get that full loadout as fast as possible, and then try to stretch themselves outward on the surrounding lands. We've seen it throughout these couple of games. They usually set up 2-3 different Surge towers, and that's how they're accumulating as much Surge as they are in these early games to allow them to make those slower rotates that we've seen in 3, honestly, realistically, games so far.
Big games, consistent games, slow and steady for sure, but not out of the woods just yet. Gotta keep the pace going here. I'd argue this is the scariest spot to be in, right? Or you're at right like 130. You're like, dude, you know, we're just getting points, you know.
Yep.
In order to keep it up, clearly not everything's going
Noxy, I didn't know how to do it. Noxy
round after round.
Want to put his name? I mean, Noxy.
Again, this team is lucky that Muzz's team qualified.
Yeah, Krabby grows.
Right? Like things just started to change for Noxy's trio.
This area of the map is so weird. There's so much loot down here, and it seems so solid, but it's just always got that issue of being behind the mountains.
Mystic are as well, and they seem to really enjoy getting third-partied here. They're going right back to this area where they got into this huge fight just last round. And it seems like an ever-evolving story here. Another set of players coming in. I'd assume that's Listen, status, and power there, but we'll see.
Yeah, this has kind of been a hot spot for a lot of our teams that are kind of landing on that mountain just south
Clean
of
to
it
get in
as
the
well.
box, but damn, the aim was not it.
Just kind of peek on over, get Surge where you can. One of them is going to already go down. Power's going to try to start the disengagement towards the outside. Shogun's Solitude. That's where they know his solo's already there. And just in the nick of time, another trio moving up, firing some shots onto Polar, taking his shield down. Listen,
who's landing Magic Monsters? That's Uziak, who's currently in first.
They don't even know they're chasing a solo. They just see a weak team that they put damage on, that they could try to fight isolated so far away from everybody else on the map.
Wait, no. What is happening? Oh, never mind. Oh, they're getting landed on now. What's happening? Oh!
Aggression here.
What is going on, bro? It's such a weird part of the map for this to be all going down.
Storm's going to continue to put the pressure on. He's got to get some splashes off, but first needs to win the tags. He gets one, but the follow-up was too strong. It's up to status now. Let's go ahead and buy some time for Powers on the other side of the wall. King's just going to back out, calling for the disengage. Okay, so they're just going to take their L.
Uh-oh. I briefly saw for a short moment they're rotating into a potential third party up the side of that mountain. When you make this much noise, because remember, it was more than just these two teams fighting. It was originally Power, Status, and Listen fighting in third, but everybody really getting caught off guard. You're thinking it's slowing down over towards Demon's Dojo. All it takes is one hidden moment from Rivid, a Mini, and regular Bard to go ahead and cut them off. Really catch them off guard and solidify those key eliminations, making it go down to their 5th and final game.
Right into the hands here Vivid, Zip, and Gloom, though, just waiting for the opportunity, and there it is. They're going to catch their 2 eliminations. It makes you wonder, you know.
So much fighting going on down in Solitude.
Wanted to pull out of that fight, but
I guess if you get your surge early, it's not the worst.
Right? They just say, hey, buddy, you're on your own. We're just going to go and try to run this one out, and you can see what happens here. They end up earning no points.
Wait, this is my sub. Zip's one of my subs. Go Zip.
Team. They're going to be dependent now on a Game 5 victory royale, and hey, at least the format allows you to still have hope in every single game.
And this is where, you know, with the time that they're using, watch a couple of the teams, figure out what's working for some. How do you change up the game? But the action, this game
Aaron
is just
goes
one
down.
fight after the next.
How many points is Byla's team on again now? They started really good, and Byla gets paced.
Struggling to try to find his way out. Luckily for him, the aggression just slows down, and Nut just able to alleviate some of the pressure. Great shot on the one, and they get that elimination quickly cleaned up, bringing it to a 2v1 situation. So far isolated. You might see one player in the mini-map towards Whiffy Warp, but I don't think there's going to be any time for them to move on over. As with Byla, Casey, both of them go down, and it's going to be a double revive coming out from both of these individuals.
Yeah, but look at this. They have the chug, right? They can bounce back a lot.
Yeah, I'm a bit better go, Maxi.
And Kale's team here.
My ears are popping constantly. I still got a bunch of nasal congestion. I'm getting there.
In battle, they're at 108 points here. They are very much in the conversation for a top 10 finish here today if they do not pull a victory royale. So this is all the more of an important situation for them to try to find their way out of. At this point, they already have the reboot card. It might just be time to disengage.
I'd say a lot, no. Quite a lot, man.
That's something that we talked about much, about that last chance qualifier.
There's no way for me to know, but I'm always surprised by how many, like, there'll be random person pop off in like a cash. I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. And then someone will talk about chat and I'm like, oh shit, it's you. And they've been like a sub for like fucking 2 years. Bro, I didn't realize the Bryce X that subbed to me for like 3 years was the same Bryce X that made land. Don't know how the fuck I didn't figure that out. It's not exactly the most common name.
Byla's just trying to separate and buy some time, and he's built a cover right now. If that was Aaron that actually did get back up in this situation, he has at least somewhere to land, but it's going to be short-lived. They immediately bring it down to a 2v2, and Casey just needs to buy time here. Let the siphon go through, but I'm not sure he's going to be given that opportunity.
Now he's going to be able to get the save here, it looks like.
So many weird, like, deep storm, griefy, long drawn-out fights, man. These fights go for so long.
Leaving Byla behind and try to find the lurking shot. But now it forces him kind of into burning all these material here. There it is. The save comes through. Hey, 3's better than 2. That's for sure. We know that. But how much resources have they spent here? Look, Kale's now down to no mats. Still has a little bit of heals to work with, though.
Just a lack of HP. Oh, he hasn't scared by he saw him on the other side. Creeped the angle. Took down Kale. Another elimination for them. And they're already jumping onto that third. Casey down below, and he stood no chance. He had no extra HP. It's basically an all or nothing against Nut, who snapped his fingers, made him disappear back to the lobby, and just another team that is on the list. That goes
one thing I do wish we do a little bit on the broadcast.
All or nothing
situation. I'm actually even tell Blast, just from my opinion. Again, I'm not saying my opinion means fucking any more than anyone else's, but I do feel like in these kind of moments, I would love just some check-ins with the teams we're expecting to do well or need to do well. I feel like we just watch these constant scrappy fights. Like, it's cool because they're fights, I get it, but when it's like teams that don't mean anything, like they're low on the leaderboard, I don't really know who they are. This is kind of what I want. Okay, I'll shut the fuck up now. Thank you, broadcast. W's.
Just a repeat of the previous
rounds.
Perfect. Playing for Surge.
Just some more of these is great.
At the Seaport City.
Because then I'm still invested. I'm like, oh yeah, shit, Bucke. Look, he's fucking healthy as shit. Look at this position Bucke's in. Hell yeah. Like, I'm like, you know.
23 points based off of the fact that he managed to
shots fired at Byla. No, it's not even Byla. No, it was like we just watched like 6 fights in a row, and I think like maybe one, like I think Byla's one was the most important for points.
But just like Byla's team, they have to stay in the running.
I'm not talking about this game. It's been like a few games of this where we just watch all these scrappy early game fights, which is good. You want content. I don't want to watch someone smack a tree, but I really like check-ins with the big teams just to kind of get some context on where they are. Like, I haven't seen
from being that team that's on the bubble, but right now from the outside looking in, they just need to continue their consistent games, build off of that confidence and momentum of that last as Clix, Higgs, and Yamzo. find themselves parallel rotating to another one of these teams all the way towards
It's
the north
perfect.
from
W
Magic
broadcast.
Ross's Pump Power,
Get exactly
even
what I
just
want.
under Flooded Frogs. That's a lot of the space that Clix, Higgs, and Yamzo use to try to find early damage, whether they're going for
Because
those
he's
box
fighting?
fights
Yeah,
or
it's because he got near a
disengaging
fight. But
altogether.
still, we still saw him.
And it
That's
already
good.
seems that they got what they wanted out
But
of
yeah,
that
it's probably because it
position.
looked
And
like they
with
were
the
gonna maybe
zones,
fight, but yeah.
A few times already today, moving towards the south, they're trying to be very,
There we
very
go. Now we're doing
proactive
check-in with
and beat a
Bugha.
lot of these
Fucking
teams to the
W
punch,
broadcast.
that's
And
where they're
Rapid's
gonna get
dead.
their
Why
surge
is
this game.
Rapid dead? What the fuck? When did that happen?
Bugha going back to his tower, trying to see if he can find more.
This is perfect, though. This is exactly what I was going to ask for. Hell yeah.
Has to play a pickup. Rapid seemingly taken down here. That's part of the risk that you take with how they play the Seaport City, right? They end up spreading out, trying to secure some land mass.
Crashed? I feel like if he crashed, he wouldn't be getting rebooted then, though. Normally, anyway.
Just in time, too, because you see all these teams rotating, you know, west of Seaport City, from the north moving south. Clix's team is going to be another one of those teams rotating in. So if they would have waited just a little bit longer, that would have been a potential risk, because Rapid, yeah, he might have been rebooted, but he could have easily been targeted.
Thanks for liking the
dropped
subs
down
on the
yet
YouTube
again.
stream, by the way, as well. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Bacon, Vortex, Nerf.
That first season stream on the YouTube. A lot of you guys have been liking. Yeah, go back and watch the VODs as well, which is
and
nice.
judging now, they have 3 overall. They might have just wiped Crime City, using that to get their early Storm Surge, and now they have the luxury to kind of rotate. Yes, they're in zone, but they have a lot of space where they don't or aren't going to run into a team, or at least anytime soon. Try to take maybe this western rotate, maybe get in just north of
I believe it's on the
Mass Meadows and
second.
kind of beeline it the rest
New
of the way
season starts
there.
on the 2nd, so I'm going to do a long stream for Grands. I'm going to go from EU start to NA West ends. So it's like a 30, like 38 or something hour stream, probably more than that, I think.
Your strategy seemingly
Something like that.
coming together here.
And then I'm taking the next 3 days off,
Crime
going away with
City
Annie,
now
getting a bit of a chill, which means I'm going to miss one of the days of solo cash cups. They moved it, is what it is. And then I'm going to be back for a big stream for the new season too.
Blake and Sales.
But I definitely need some family time.
It's kind of been like a mixy performance, all in all.
Oh,
from
really,
them.
Sebby? Interesting.
There are times when they're in great positions and times like
You ready
now
for
where
Pro-Am day after the new season, right? I'm not sure.
wearing the
So I was supposed to be leaving on like
of
the
the early game.
the
180
6th,
points,
I
though,
think?
puts them in the conversation
6th
at the
for me, so
moment.
getting there on the 6th for you guys. But I think Dig wants to send me out a couple days
Christopher
earlier
for the
now, apparently,
medallion.
maybe. So we'll see. I'm not sure.
Just play a little slow, play a little steady. Just get a little bit of resources at a time. As you see them just trying to looten up the armored van that is going to be left behind. And without a teammate,
Oh,
they're
of course,
probably
Theory,
trying to
of
look,
course.
see where they can try to get a reboot back on up over towards Pump Power. That's going to be the first place.
Ooh,
I'd
Clix
look,
fine,
but the
Clix
fight's
fine.
already breaking down. Yamzo, Higgs, Clix. There's a whole nother trio down below, and they are in the driver's seat with full control over this fight, basically converging and forcing them onto that low ground.
I'm not sure how I feel about this. There's a lot of teams in the vicinity. I think they recognize that as well. They had to have seen one of the trios rotating in from the distance, and they're just beelining their way out of here. But they know it or not, it's probably the best decision now. They're only at 149 points, so if they make an end game here, they should be all but qualified. However, there is still a game worth of end games in front of them that they need to get through first in order to feel
No, Brian, just me going LA, man. It's too long of a flight for Charlotte, bro. 14 hours is...
Meanwhile, Maniac picks up one of his
Sadly, a pretty short
two
flight for
teammates that
Australia,
were
but...
downed.
Nah. And I want to spend a few
And
days
this is
beforehand
a trio
practicing
that
as much as I
nearly
can,
won
so...
the last game. Fuse, Thetic, and Maniac actually coincidentally got the Elim credits for
Wait, this will be
Clix and his
Fusiak's
entire
first
trio.
Grands?
Higgs
Come
and
on,
Yamzo
Fuse!
off
Come
the
on,
fall
Fuse!
damage, so the tick there
We're a duo, though. We're a duo.
must have put a little bit of damage in on them.
Seeing a lot of teams just slow to rotate out of the zone overall, especially since it continues to move further and further towards the south. As soon as it looks like Aaron, Nut, and Bila were going to make it towards the edge,
I thought Fuse made a Grands.
pulls further and further out. There is going to be one team nearby, but a lot of them might be forced to kind of focus on the rotation. And you can see in their inventory, 2 out of the 3 members of this team do not have any of your normal mobility. No kneecap or no gauntlets. All they're going to be able to have is those splashes, which actually burst the speed. But you do typically want to save those to later in the game, those moving zones, especially with the lack of mobility. So it's going to be a rough road for them. But if they can make it to the zone with the resources that they have, I think they'll be A-okay.
TK freezing Quanti right now on the move here. A couple attacks coming in, and whoa. Freeze with the counter fire, but so many angles, multiple trios with vision lines on them. Ends up costing them a fair bit. That's going to kill their momentum for sure.
Rapid Bugha threats now good.
That makes
It's
sense.
a good zone for them to get their
One
win.
of the teams is, of course, Bugha on the high ground there. You have to assume it's...
I think Bugha's deliberately not winning, so
Focus
Dorfdad gets a longer stream. The WR Sun right there.
on the nearby side. They're all in this general area for their draw spots, but wait a second. We knew Clix, Higgs, and Iamzo were making a smart rotate before, but who do they rotate into? That's costing them all of this. It's Elution, the trio, but Iamzo clutching up alongside Higgs. It seems like Higgs might have been the decision maker there.
What is this fight?
Really found that first elimination, separated from the team. Even though they're moving further
Oh,
and
this is
further back
awkward.
to the zone, they have the chug.
This is really awkward. There's a lot of teams here. What is happening?
400 overall instead of 2. They have the extra splashes.
Oh.
And Clix adds another elimination to the list of things that they have, and they get a little bit more on that chug med kits as well. They just got to pick and choose what they want, as every other team around them just disperses like cockroaches when you turn the light on, just trying to find their way to safety.
Disperse
And with
like
zone pulling
cockroaches.
forward, it doesn't pull too far away from Higgs, Iamzo, and Clix. It actually pulls to where they can position themselves in zone, wait for it to open up, so they get their pick of the litter of where they want to be.
Yeah, just a short ride to the safety here, and the zone's going to be sliding their way, so this is pretty nice. Hot on the press, though. You have Viper and Optics.
Okay, now this gets kind of fair.
Picking up a med miss.
Scurrying
from the
like
counter
rats.
body, so just
He's home?
making their way through what's left of the loot there. Meanwhile, at the Seaport City, the home of Bugha, who has the prime real estate, the penthouse up top here.
Oh, Bugha got the penthouse, that's for
All eyes
sure.
on the scene for Freeze, TK, and Quanti, though. They've snuck their way into this great positioning
Are you
here.
happy with the prime?
They've farmed up all this material count, but trying to figure out what's their next move now.
I kind of expected Freeze, Quanti, and TK to be higher, man. 81 with Uncon through a box cards. I hope they have a good game here.
900 above.
I want to see this team make grands.
Questioning their position inside of Seaport, inside of one of those builds. You don't have a great vantage point over every other team like Bugha Threats and Rapid Duke right above them, but they did so good getting damage early on. They don't have to worry about taking that risk, putting themselves in a spot just like that. See everybody towards the outskirts, but Threats and Rapid, kind of the leaders in this team in terms of the ones hunting for that damage. They're 760 above the threshold. They have like an emergency launch pad just in case they do need it on top if it does pull far away. I think they're setting themselves up for another one of these games where they might find themselves on the slow side of zone, maybe another top 5.
See if a top 5's in the cards here, but give it a minute. Maniac and Fuse.
Ooh, no. Fuse is
All
highest,
right,
most
they got
consistent
caught
team,
skipping
too.
the line. They get
Damn.
sent back
Well,
to
that
the
sucks.
lobby there.
It's scary.
You gotta respect it, you know, for a solo player picking up this team, trying to get back in the running. He definitely gave it a good shot. However, it's gonna come down to game 5 for them now. For Optics, it's up to him now to see what he can do. Surge is active. They just need a tag, though, to alleviate that pressure.
Only
They have
51
options, they have
above.
launch pads. What are you thinking, Jacob?
Ooh,
I'm
Clix
thinking
and Noxy
because
right
of
next to
that
each
launch
other.
pad, even if the zone does
I'm not
pull
seeing
right
Mason,
far
though, or we
away,
got
they
Noxy
can
and
kinda
Mason.
stagger themselves in the position.
Only a
It's just
duo,
all
though.
dependent on how many other teams are on that side of the zone, how many other teams are kind of peeking open, especially with the zone pulling away. They can launch
Fan
pad,
to the
they
prime
can
5?
kneecapper, they can close the distance in no time. 510 above, though, for Clix, Iamzo, and Higgs. You see, have the most
Ooh,
builds,
most builds and most farmed.
builds farmed out of this trio, using all of their resources to make it through up until this point of the game. Their only real blunder so far today was, well, it was that last game.
I was going to ask you, who do you think on their team is making the call to jump on this trio? That's underneath them. They're all
Yeah, Aspect with 2 over
sizing them
10.
up, but wait a second.
Ooh,
Power
1
FN,
HP.
1 HP flirting with
Oh,
the
gets the
Storm
Siphon
line
on
there, and the
Carillion. That's
Siphon.
big.
Whoa. Talk about best opportunity right there. Gives him a
Nice.
lot of HP.
2
little
corn, 2.
leftover
Nice. Save the main kits.
Finds here. Going to at least give him some hope.
Oh, another med kit.
Makes a difference.
Yeah, missing some shields, though, and he's 72 below the damage threshold, but Hound just trying to go and land a little bit of a cheeky shot. He doesn't need the most damage in the world. A well-placed shotgun shot, a couple of tags
Oh, what
from
the
the Hollow Twister AR, and
what
another team,
the
another player individually.
Maribi.
He boxes up, gets the ramp in. The Mongo Classic is out, but he misses a big shot He still has full advantage,
He has the wall.
but the tables have turned.
What
Hound's
is
still trying to
happening
do what he
right
can,
now?
but he's getting chunked out by the zone until he eventually goes down to Murray, who turned the tables in the blink of an eye. That was just incredible way to stay alive.
He's
and
actually
start to
down
get
4?
some placement points.
He
'Cause now
moved
we're in the top 17.
And that's really a showing of what happens when you catch someone off guard, right? The pressure's on. Probably had peak adrenaline rushing through him, and the nerves set in, and Hound couldn't just close it out.
Bugha top 10 boys. Yeah,
Look at this
Bugha's had good day
beautiful
today,
aerial
man.
shot right here, showing
They would have
us
had a win
how
earlier,
much
but Rapid had a bit of a blunder on high
potential
grounds.
There is on this rotate here. No easy freebies here to move across this zone right now.
But with this game right now, and the position they're in, they're
Everyone's on
definitely
the
looking good.
outskirts, and now
This will be the
starting to
win, or
huddle
this will
up just at
secure the top
spear
5.
point of the new
Make
Storm,
game
and
5 a bit of a victory
most
lap.
of them moved pretty early. The
Hey,
zone
Spicy
hasn't
Chicken,
even
thanks 5
decided
gifted,
to
bro. Thank you,
start
homie.
rotating till just now. Some of the last in line here. You have Sales. You have Blake there.
Ooh, he's on the high
Sandwich,
ground.
so
Let's go.
just
W
fights happening
Bugha.
still, even on the edge of zone.
All right, game 4 is where we do it.
Freeze and TK have to decide what they're going to do. They're going to go for a refresh potentially before making the move.
Yeah, although they may not necessarily need the materials and stuff now, they're trying to be.
Oh, yeah, we're looking
proactive.
real good.
See who
Bugha versus
they can
Bucke,
catch
though,
off
might happen
guard.
again.
Rapid Bugha threat,
Bugha on
same
high.
thing for them. They're already starting to build onto that high ground, and they're expending a lot of resources in this 8th zone. It's almost a feeling of deja vu, because one of our earlier games, we saw a team take high ground in the 8th zone. They ran out of resources. They got contested.
Is it grand
and they
finals out
lost it
Bugha?
all.
Oh, yeah, Bugha's definitely making grands. Just whether he gets to the win or a
Happens to the
consistency.
best.
Like, there was no way Bugha wasn't making it out of this
Threats
group.
in Rapid, though, on hype right now.
Bugha's been, like, locked in, bro. He's been grinding solos, too. That's, like,
Curious to see
that's
what they're
maximum
gonna
locked in
end
Bugha.
up connecting with
Oh.
next. Over the top.
Oh,
Once
jumps on top of
again,
Bucke.
onto Bucke Okus. They just can't get enough of this team here.
Nice, good space
And that's
played
what
by
happens,
Bucke,
you know,
though.
They land near each other, so it's inevitable that they're going to be somewhat hovering depending on where the zones pull in.
That was good. That was a good switch by Bugha, too. That saved a lot of mats. They didn't spend a lot of mats on that.
Do seem to be in the most prominent position now. And I don't see them letting go of this chokehold they have on the lobby. Clix, Higgs, and Yamza, though, struggling through the low ground here. They've just continued to enjoy playing this low ground.
Yeah, 176 points. They're basically all but qualified. If they could just maybe make a couple more.
Yo, what's up, Joji? I'm doing great, man. Thanks for the 40, dude.
Points, 365, now
nice.
645 up the
Damn, bro.
threshold.
Yomzo is
taking some
fucking
damage,
moving, bro.
but he's leading by example,
I'm
making
really
some
happy
hits,
Pro Am
and
doesn't have
Higgs
these
have a
baseball
safe
bats, because I'd be getting
rotation
left
on their
behind
way
like
in.
crazy.
Proven to be
I feel like
fruitful as
actually, I don't
momentarily
know.
get targeted out, but they quickly jump up and over, and
That
that's gonna be
too.
the reason why
That
Clix
too.
goes down, just too far separated from Higgs and Yamzo.
I was going to say, you just can't.
I guess
do that when
shockwaves
you
aren't much
have
easier to
Bugha
follow.
Rapid on the high ground there with threats. You can just see that they are
Curse? That's not a
shredding any
curse.
opportunity
I
of
said
a player
nothing
that
about
gives them a
Clix.
chance to-
That's exactly what I was based on saying, was trying to
This
follow
is
people
how
with the
you play
baseball
high
bats is
ground.
hard
This
as
is
fuck,
how
and then
you
Clix
start
gets
to
speed
rack up
following.
those Elans. Again, they're not the flashiest
If anything,
trio
that's exactly what I'm talking
by
about.
any means. However, when it comes to endgame, it's where they really start to shine and find their points. Look at the
Oh, wait,
crossover
Bugha.
here to cut this opponent off from the
7
high
builds,
ground
though.
spot.
6 builds.
Higgs and Yamza
It's
holding
looking
on,
sketchy.
Still playing the low ground front side here, trying to rotate, but Bugha has control of high ground here, but they're starting to run out of math. Bugha just has 6 to work
Oh,
with.
150 from
They're gonna
Higgs.
become desperate soon.
Come on.
Meanwhile, Higgs,
Come on,
though,
XZ Higgs.
on the low ground, showing what he is.
Oh, they're
made of.
191. They've already called
Five
anyway.
heroes with them in the top 10 now.
I think.
Another great showing here.
I need to check. I need to check what consistency's shaping up like.
All eyes
3
on
builds for
Bugha,
Bugha.
rapid threats right now.
We're gonna drop down and get something. Come on. Show us that threat aim, baby. Show us threat aim.
Contested fight, broken Liam and 20. We're looking to go up, but they get shut down.
Ooh, Bucke,
Running
nice.
out of builds. Bucke goes
Wait,
deep
Bucke
in his
could do
own.
it.
Sales goes down. He's trying to make his second FNCS.
Give me the game
finals
4
after
Bucke
making
win.
his first last season, but that road is cut
Ooh,
short.
Quanti needs this
Quanti
too.
losing TK down below. They know a lot of these teams are going to have to jump down.
Lima
and
broken,
meet
20
along
definitely
that
needed 2.
low ground.
Bucke's
They're
looking
trying
for
to
it.
be
Bucke
the
versus
driver's seat when that
Bugha.
happens.
And Blake's in the
Bucke,
middle. It's
Cam, they're shooting
OGs.
towards the back. Rapid, Bugha threat. They're using the Metamus smoke.
Bucke
trying to
takes
block
it.
out.
All right, Bugha got enough
Goes
points, so I
down
don't mind
again.
here. Come on, Bucke.
And Bucke was the last to survive.
Come on,
here.
Bucke,
He
I need this
waits it
celebration. I
out
need a
and
Bucke
times it
win.
Perfectly, Gavin might just be the refresh for them now.
Bang!
Bucke's
I can't even do it. My
on
voice
that
is still too fast.
Cam and Okus here are at 10 eliminations. Everyone in this game here needs a refresh.
Come on, 4 teams, 10 players. Come on, Bucke.
To have a little bit of hope, but it's Okus right now who's on fire.
Oh, they don't have a lot of mats on meds, though. They have a lot of mats on meds.
Just 10 players standing here. No one's healthy.
Oh, Bugha goes down. Great game for them, though. Good consistency points. They're chilling.
And Cam are the only trio
Oh,
standing.
wait.
Only strong
Wait,
trio,
201
at
though.
least.
Bucky still
There's one
Bucky.
down below, but they're
Bucky
all
back-to-back
shambles.
pumps, baby. Let's
As
go.
two more
Oh my
players
god.
go down.
Said earlier
Bucky's
today,
really
man.
leading
Bucky's
by
got some of the best pump aim in the
example.
game
They have 12
still.
eliminations as a team,
Still got it.
213 points, but
Focus
they
down
don't
though. It's
wanna
Bucky and
qualify
Cam.
through
Come on.
consistency. They wanna stamp
Oh,
their
20
way
though. It's
by
2v3.
force,
20
and
might
the
have this.
drop
Come
down
on, Bucky.
is
Come
now
on.
coming in. They're doing it by force because they're
How much have we got in the chug jug? How much we got in the chug jug? Nice. We're decently healthy. Don't get beat. Come on, Cam.
Ready to finish the fight.
Nice. Come on, Cam. No, it's on to Bucky. It's on to Bucky. Come on, Bucky. Nice. Oh my god. The ice in his veins. The experience. Come on. We need LeBucky right now. Cool in the clutch. Come on, 1v1 LeBucky. Oh, no. He went for the clip. He's 219. He's already qual, but he went for the clip. Of course, Bucky went for the clip, bro. He went for it, bro. He went for it. He's already qualled 219. You may as well go for the clip.
2023 Bucky for good reason right
Hey,
now.
hey, we still qualled. Good
Shout
shit.
out to Broken though, who clutches up the shot to win the game.
Wait, hey, wait, 20 Broken and Liam really needed that.
What a game that was.
W,
there,
Liam
Jacob.
gets it, and clutches the pred though. Liam was on the pred, so
Took that last fight by storm.
W.
Even when things looked a little shaky, Bucky getting elimination. They're trying to tie it up. They stayed confident. They held their ground, and they picked up the eliminations, and that was big because now they don't have to play the last game out. They can watch
20 grand, baby, 20 grand. All right, what do we make the giveaway word though? We'll make a Broken. He's Broken clutched it. All right, chat. If you guys want to win the V-Bucks, have the word Broken in chat. We already did Bucky once today. That was good from Bucky. Oh, Bucky would have had to have 150'd him.
Confidence there in the world. The victory royale for game number 420. Liam Broken will be going straight to the finals there, Z.
All right, chat. If you want some V-Bucks, have the word Broken in chat. We got one more V-Buck giveaway after this.
What was that end game? Dude, these games have gotten more and more chaotic as they've gone on. Obviously, we will talk about Bucky after the break, but we had to focus in on Broken 20 and Liam securing themselves.
Yeah, 20 really needed that, right? They didn't have that many points, did they?
Finals. Oh my gosh. You know, I feel like we can't give enough credit to the players like who kind of make it to like those last top two, right? Because you just have to be in like so much control, so much focus that you have to know kind of what's happening at every moment. Like obviously the game as a whole is chaotic, but when you come down
They're
to
on
that
80 or
last
something. Okay, so they did
1v1,
need that for sure.
man,
Wow.
you have
Yo,
to be
boss, thanks
zen
5
in
gifted.
the moment, and for them, Broken was right on the other
Good stuff,
side.
Broken.
Bucky not
Good
having
stuff.
the shotgun ammo or reloaded. Broken ready, right? It doesn't matter who's on the other side. I just need to hit this shot, and he does. And now their trio is going to the finals.
W. All right, 10 more seconds, chat. We'll call the Broken
Especially
giveaway.
when you go from a like 2v1 against Bucky and one of your players goes down, you gotta think the 1v1, the final moment there. That's every like opportunity. For
They had
Bucky
no
to
players that had
take the
4 kills
win.
until this point.
But
Oh, wow. They were on like
Broken, in
no
that final
points. W, 20.
positioning that we got to see in the 1v1.
It's all the tokens 20's been doing, man.
Aiming towards his opponent, so he actually rotates in front of him to drop down where Bucky isn't facing. It was such a smart play from Broken.
Ooh.
And what's even more smart
They were on
from them
12
is that
points
they were
before
in
that game?
26th place before that game.
W,
And I
20.
think between the points that you can earn in 2 games, that's just not going to be enough for consistency. So to get
They
that
basically
victory
had to
royale
win,
in
yeah.
one of the last moments you can, Vivid, that's what stories are made of.
They had 0 placement points, only 4 kills.
Right,
Wow.
The underdog story right there, coming true. 20.
Come on, Ilushin, you got this, son. Come on.
It's not very often we actually see a team actually contest high ground, right? They did that against Bugha.
20 posted the reaction.
The
Nice.
high ground, so they just full reset and opted. You know what? Listen, if we can't get the high ground, we'll go to the complete opposite. We'll play the low ground for the rest of the game. Worked out very.
What do we got? Wait. I didn't see a reaction. Oh, here we go. Oh my god, multiple tweets. Oh, it's short and sweet, short and sweet.
Yeah, my man.
Yo, who was watching my screen share? Did y'all see me fucking shaking, bro? Yeah, bro, going shaking when his friend got gone. Oh my god, bro. That was Bugha.
Is he like speed running the tweet? Was that like, was he speed running the tweet? See how shaky he was? Oh yeah, Tonti was so excited, bro. Good on him, man. He's such a funny guy too. All right, 1 game to go, chat. I need like the really like loud spacebar from like the GeoGuessr like clips. to make that even better. You buy a shot, 2 over 6. It's Duval. Elvis, is it? You get Daxi, Bunda again. Aspect Waste. Thanks for the subs, chat. 577 today. Thank you. Groups tomorrow we're at 180 from 12k. Oh my god. Thank you. Oh, man, Pete's beaming in this clip. Jeez. Wait, did Bucky tweet out his not win reaction, did he? It was a big clutch, to be fair. He just didn't tweet anything. What are we saying? Let's go last game, chat. Last game. Wait, what? Is this actually a thing, bro? What? Watching the goat in the back of the Tesla. Yo, shout out Johnny G. Can't miss a stream, bro. I respect the hell out of that. What a goat. Are you fishy with the Prime for 5? Bro, the sponsor who watched my stream is just insane to me. Bro, we had Kovacs watching me on the Stairmaster at the gym. We got people watching me in the back of Teslas, bro. What is happening? Just got here and looked at the leaderboard. What the heck's going on? What do you mean, bro?
Welcome back, everybody, to the FNCS. All right. Let's talk about that crazy Bucky endgame. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I can't help but do it.
Taking breaks to the Prime for 2.
These guys almost got the victory royale. An amazing game from Bucky, from Ogus, from Cam. 14 eliminations.
Chat, don't watch me while you're driving, though.
Currently first
Only for the back seat.
on the leaderboard. And I mean, after that last game, I mean, of course.
Of course. Sorry, I wasn't expecting that. These mountain zones are just, you know, eliminating me, Vivid. I can't handle all of this elevation changing that these trios are having to do, and I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing high ground trade so many hands compared to what we saw from Group 1.
Thank you, Leilu, with the Prime for 21.
Doing everything he can, almost getting the 1v2, but just a little bit distracted by Liam there, giving Broken the exact opportunity he needed to take Bucky down.
Here we go. What do we got? Okay. All right. 1 game to go. We currently have Dolzier, I Am Enough, Muzz, and now 20 as our 4 teams won straight through to grands, up 23 places. What a go. Then we have Bucky, Rapid, Clix, Fusiak, and Blake across the line. Noxy just missing out. So right now, I would say Bugha and Bucky are 100% safe. Clix is very close to safe. But these teams here, Fusiak, Blake, Noxy, like they're going to have some shuffling around to do.
Kelly mentioned that at the end there, Bucky almost picked up that 1v2. It was just like 5 seconds before that in that highlight.
It's so weird right now.
He did hit a 1v2, right? So it's like that would have been the second one of the game. But I actually love how they played that, right? At one point, they were on second height. And it was like they looked back.
Yeah, Bugha and Bucky are safe. Oh, you love Bucky to grands, baby.
Bomb going off.
Bucky IGLing 2 controller players to grands.
I wonder if there's a trio back
doing
there.
it on hard mode.
I would have had no idea, but they can literally see it. They start to apply pressure to Bugha's trio, which was ultimately the fault for their trio. But what a great showing from Bucky's trio right there.
Yeah, man. And you saw it there in the clip. So he goes for like the pickaxe because he goes to shoot. And then he swaps to the pickaxe, right? Why wouldn't you just shoot? It's because he had to reload, right?
Chat.
Just think the difference that would have made a single shot in that. I mean, he was primed for it. He had the angle and everything. It's just, it is sometimes how it goes, right? I've also noticed we've just had an alarming amount of mountain zones. Sorry about that, guys. When I typed in the code for today where the zones would be, I missed one button there, so I went ahead and changed it. So we shouldn't have a mountain zone. Beep, boop, beep, beep should be good now, I think. Man, you kind of called out Bugha, Rapid, and Threats there as well. I love that, dude. That was that got me, I'm not gonna lie, to just, and shout out to the observers when we get that wide shot of like, you look up to the top left and you're like, what's going on there? Like, why'd they stop moving? And then we cut to their perspective and they're sliding down the mountain with no mats, and it's like, oh, okay, I see. Like, they just kind of, they made the play, right? They did what they could with what they had.
Yeah, and this isn't the first time we've seen Bugha lose height and actually be able to kind of handle the situation well. Obviously, though, like you said, that zone, there's just only so much that you can do. But that actually, I think part of the reason why they were low on mats is because 20 tried to steal height away from them in an earlier zone, and they were able to actually kind of stop 20 and be able to regain height once again. But, you know, once you do enter those engagements in the high ground, your mats just disappear. And so you got to kind of think, are we just going to stick to high ground and hope that the zone pulls back over our builds, or is this when we drop to low and mid ground? But dropping on the leaderboard here, just one single space. Rapid, Bugha, and Threats now currently sitting in 6th place, and my goodness, Vivid in 1st place. Well, it's none other than Bucke, Okus, and Cam.
Yeah, I mean, incredible for them to kind of find themselves towards the top of the leaderboard, kind of bringing themselves back to like that.
I got a custard hot cross button.
You know, most consistent when we talk about a trio is usually
Zeke
the one
irks
we
me.
see
You must
towards the
hate
top of
fun.
the consistency leaderboard. But if you actually take a look at the games that Bugha, Threats, and Rapid have had, they've been like the most consistent, right? They've been top 6 every single game. They kind of have low eliminations between 2 and 5 every single game, which is why, you know, we typically see them not actually be able to find themselves in winning positions because they're so low on eliminations. But all their games very, very similar. So I'm actually going to coin them as like the most consistent trio right now.
I like it.
Okay, I vibe with it. I vibe. Guys, this is it. Last game of the day. One final opportunity to either get a victory royale or to end in the top 5 in consistency. For the last time, just today, Monster D phase, Jacob PR, over to you.
Who would have thought it all comes down to this moment right here? Monster, by
Exactly,
no
Dan.
means are
I love that
any
Zeke's like loves being silly. It's great.
FNCS is over after today, but it will get exponentially harder having to go through that last chance qualifier.
Yeah, undoubtedly. And you know what? If you're about that 191 point threshold for Clix, they still have
It's
to
not an
earn a
oat
little
sandwich,
bit more to feel
Conan.
super confident about being qualified. But from there up, the OGs, the veterans, right? They just about have done it. So here we have it. Game number 5. Let's go.
I don't only eat oats.
All right, Jacob. This is the last time we're jumping on the battle bus for this Saturday evening here. And we gotta say, this has not disappointed. Group 2, we knew was gonna be the most stacked coming into it. And I gotta ask you, just give me the real answer. Has it exceeded your expectations or what?
I think these groups in general, from last week to this week, surpassed it by a long shot. When you typically think some of these tier 1 names, the superstars that you've seen every single season, are not winning games and they're having to fight and really claw their way up the leaderboard in order to qualify, hey, that just screams excitement. That just goes to show how difficult and how challenging some of these newcomers are actually becoming in the state of Fortnite competitive.
Yeah, I think, you know, even looking at the teams that have pulled some victories, right?
All right.
The only one
Is
up
Jacob
there
PR from Puerto Rico? He is.
No surprise was
he is the
Muzz's
most
trio,
valuable
Jocko,
Puerto
Rise, and
Rican.
everyone else
That is why he's
really
Jacob
has had to
MVPR.
fight for it. It's been neck and neck contended battles in the end, and really the low ground teams just finding opportunities. So at every layer, it's been extremely interesting.
Wait a second.
Take a look at this.
Clix isn't safe yet.
Testing the lone wolf layer. So this is new for Clix, Higgs, and Yamso. They have
Clix is not
typically had
safe
this
yet.
drop completely to themselves before rotating out to the Magic Mosses or otherwise. But already,
Okay.
strapped in and ready for action
I
here.
am
If they get
confused.
this elimination here, these 3 elims, I think that'll be all they need to be qualified through. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is a real interesting decision from
Very
Doggo,
interesting.
Jake,
Yeah, we'll go with
and
interesting.
their trio because,
Definitely not
like you
great.
said, they're essentially all but qualified. On the other side, you have 9 points.
I guess it's because they're trying. Their logic is like, if we kill Clix and get Lone Wolf, then we might have to lose to win the game. I guess.
Directly to the finals.
I could kind of respect that a bit, but I'm always a little bit sus when it's Clix.
Clix, Higgs, and Yamso. Throughout the course of the day, early game, you know it's been Storm Surge or lack thereof that has been one of their problems. Now you give them contested out of the gates. If they win this fight, free and early.
Yeah, I guess the logic is like, but this is like one of the hardest TOIs to actually win the fight at, chat. Like what you're watching right now is exactly the reason why it's like not a good decision.
Working around the outsides. Clix, Higgs, and Yamso, though, making sure they maintain the vault here first. That's going to be the huge reward, but
Yeah. If it, like with the win to qual factor, then yeah, it's a very stupid play. I'm not gonna lie, it's a very, very stupid play. But whether it's like deliberate target griefing, I don't think so. I think they're just getting desperate because they need to win the qual.
Thermites down, right? Looking for the explosion, looking to really.
But no, there's no way they win their game fighting Clix on spawn at Lone Wolf. It's just
strategy right now because you know they
drags
don't
out
have
too much
down here. Jake playing the outskirts. Oh no, he's got the big explosions coming in now, and this is one of the most.
It's not their best shot, no.
Weapons in the game right now.
There's a few spots you have a way higher chance of wiping the team, and then almost as like not almost as good loop. You know what I mean? Like
the annoying thing is it's unlimited ammo. He can just continue to just charge it, break a lot of these covers. And you saw moments ago they did not have a lot of material overall. They immediately got pushed down low in toward their bump. There's not a lot of farm to fight there, so they can continue right now for Jake and his trio to put this pressure on from above and not get too antsy to get elimination.
well, especially when the team that just went that was going Mast just qual too. So presumably Mast is either uncontested or contested by a team who doesn't know how to fight it. Would definitely make more sense than this.
Well, we know they have the weapons to work with though, so let's see how this is going to end up playing out. Splashes come through, so they're healthy. They're ready to farm it, but Jake is.
What's his weapon? Yeah.
Pressure here.
They have two. They have two. Oh no. Oh my gosh. I almost feel like Clix, Yamzo, and Higgs are
third party. Yeah, you normally do a Lone Wolf
to come in, distract this team, so they can try to make their way out. There's two different lasers just beaming into the box with little builds they have left going out the window. But that's the second time that least Higgs is finding little angles here.
The fact they had to get two of these pulse thingies is so stupid though.
Resources on the other side.
If Huge's the only one on this trio right here that actually has mats, he was the one that was busy playing high ground. They leave one behind. They got to make a move now. While
that's actually pretty good, man. Look at you go.
If they notice that this team let up the pressure a bit, and luckily it's because Aaron and Nut have seen what is unfolding here. They're already rotating in, so
this team's definitely winning.
This is going to give Clix's trio the opportunity to sneak away, and it seems like they're finally out of the vault now. And there they go, the full disengage from the other side. So, hey, I think they got to count their lucky stars here, because this.
Yeah, I feel like they're disengaging. Really I genuinely, chat. I don't know. It's hard to know. You never know teams' intentions. I'm guessing I don't think their intention was to grief Clix. Like, yo, fuck Clix. Let's fuck them up and like get attention, like the cringe shit we're used to dealing with. I think it was just they thought this is their best chance to get a win. I question that decision. It's a very silly decision, but I don't think they're deliberately trying to grief. They're just trying to call grands.
Just a very, very.
But luckily, Clix only needs a very like mediocre game. Clix needs like 10 points and he's chilling.
The longer a fight like that goes on, we both know. We saw it last week, where a third party starts to come in. It makes it harder and harder for anybody to try to survive a position like that. Back on over to Crime City, where we've seen Vortec, Nerface, and Bacon, at least in the feed, solidify the eliminations to win Crime City for themselves. Maybe
that's what I'm saying, Jim. Them running away shows I think they're not truly trying to grief Clix. They just don't know what they're doing and they're trying to get a win.
Very conscientious and aware of the potential of how many other teams are either in Crime City getting the scraps like we see one is, or overall at the black market just trying to take as much loot that they can for themselves.
Well, they did finish the team fight there too, so that's the first time they get the insta elims at the Crime City. So much better.
Yeah, a little bit stressful though. A little bit stressy at the very end for Clix.
Sales and Soneto though, 160 points.
He blown Prime 42. What's up, blow?
Dream right now for another finals appearance.
Full grief? They literally disengaged. What do you mean full grief, bro? They literally left. By the definition of full grief, it's not a full grief. Like, what's happening?
They have the high ground mountain as well for just downloading all the information here.
It's almost like a stressful situation when you are.
Wait, we're now saying they're not griefing because they. Wait, we're saying they're griefing because they disengaged. If they weren't griefing, they would have keyed. Like, what the fuck's happening, chat? What are we doing?
Adds a little bit of nerves,
or do
you think it kind of builds a little bit of confidence? As long as we continue to play how we're playing, we should be okay.
Yeah, I definitely am in the camp.
You don't want to call, you don't contest one of the best fight hits. Let me know, chat. They're not the best loot. It's fine. Like, I've explained this 700 times in the past three tournaments. It's fine. You guys believe what you want. I honestly don't care.
Vibes are.
I don't even know that team.
Definitely in the same situation here with Maniac there, but Illusion Vibes are pushing for the fight right now.
Ooh, it's an awkward spot. Got teams scrapping up over here near Magic Monsters too.
Oh, another team's coming into this. This is not looking good for Maniac's trio, but ooh, just so happens that
So many teams. Everyone's getting scrappy, man. Game 5's always scrappy.
And now they're forced into the sandwich here. They're the team in the middle somehow. And sometimes, you know, there is a little bit of luck factor involved in this game. And if you're the Tick Fuse and Maniac, you're happy you get bailed out of there. They were lower on material. They were almost, again, arguably losing that exchange. And now they get to slide on out of there.
Yeah, and they're one position above Blake on that leaderboard. So they're inside of the bubble. Anybody going down here, especially if you're in contention of getting one of those consistency spots, you're gonna feel the pain. Rightfully so, because of how close you actually are. 3 teams still in this position. 2 more just towards the north. 4 overall into 2 separate battles here. Everybody just trying to spray into the box. And you see Recore, Taram, and Ariel, aka that is Dorito, like you kind of mentioned earlier on. They were able
so
to
many
get
teams
into
need the
black
win, bro.
market from Magic Mosses and get that mythic collateral AR.
Look at this. Forced into the buildings here. This is all just starting to go downhill for them now. Ariel, Recore, thinking about moving out of here. They're at 90 points, so they've managed to have their moments, but not quite enough to be up inside the consistency range, so they'll likely need a Victor Royale as well. Jumping back.
Oh, here we go. Clix takes the Omzo, finding him down.
Here.
They chased him down. They got their loot. Wait, they've already got their loot from the black market.
Costing them their early game situation. They're getting right back into it. This time now with a lot more arsenal to work with.
I'm lacking this. I'm lacking this confidence.
Clix playing the outskirts, allowing Yamzo and Higgs to be the front man. Yamzo calling for the disengage though. They're content with the tags. And look, they still have a long way to go right before they get all their material counts situated here. So not quite out of the woods just yet for their mid games.
Yeah, almost seemed they can kind of just go back towards that black market. They do have some extra gold, a surplus, so they're able to kind of utilize a lot of the resources.
Soft engage, soft engage. Nah, I think they were actually going to probably fight.
158 points in terms of consistency. They would be 6th place on that leaderboard, and they started only 2 points down. Monster, that is one elimination that really
As
could make
it is just one of the best
difference
plays
at
for
the end of the day,
Surge,
going to
man.
last chance qualifier or going to the FNCS finals. So it's really almost got me at the edge of my seat, nervous for a lot of these competitors today.
Oh, Yamzo gets the fall damage,
What?
by the way.
What?
I was wondering, I'm like,
Hey, nice
Surge.
surge.
Clearly he's not hitting the shot, but
Nice surge, but what the?
Round
He
that
stumbles.
story out, and looking at the feed, Higgs gets the follow-up. So we'll jump back in the second first. The Mini Beans, Rivet, and regular BRD right now have to win this fight here.
It's Jez, Jerem, Ayo, and Liam on the other side. Even though it's 2 teams here, 1 team towards the right, just on the outside. That's one third party, and right to their left as well from the west, coming in from the north. That's a 4th potential third-party team, and I don't think anybody here has a line of sight on those third-party potential crashes coming in. So it could end up in a dangerous situation, but they're not really giving up their position. They're not necessarily trying to advance.
Sonori with the prime for 3.
And even though one does take some damage, he's going to have to cower back. Let his team pressure outward so that way he can try to get those shields back up and become healthy once more.
That's just Doritos' team coming from the
Damn,
outskirts.
really long fight here.
Just listening,
Holy.
just watching. They don't want to dive in because you have that high ground trio letting this fight kind of take its course. Mini Beans jumps in.
Nice.
Finally now looking for the closer. Nicely timed there onto KD first. Now Liam tries to come
Nice.
to the
Come on,
rescue.
Rivet.
Puts a great tag down, but at the end of the day, it's 3 shots,
Come on, Rivet.
3 guns, 3
No, it's 2 of my
barrels
subs
versus
actually.
just
No.
yours.
Actually, Rivet's the longest sub. Go,
They have
Rivet.
the numbers advantage,
Nice.
and it comes through. And Doritos' team dives on the team in the tower. They're like, oh, you don't want to jump on them? We're going to jump on you.
Bro, so many
And
teams
that
just
might
full
be a
fight. Where's
breaking
Fuse
out
at?
up top, so
Oh, wait. Fuse isn't safe
very
yet.
active part of the northern zone there.
Wait, Fuse isn't safe
Meanwhile,
yet.
Maniac, again, on the bubble.
174. They're looking good, but they're not
In
safe.
the qualification range right now, Jacob. They're holding on here, but they're playing way more passively than any other round we've seen them before, playing these dead rotates now. This is also the first we've seen an Eastern pool like this. So this is what, you know, I think is telling, right? We asked
Really,
that
Jez?
question,
Damn, bro.
when you are about to qualify, does it make you nervous? Do you do new things? They look to be doing new stuff right now.
Yeah. I was kind of agreeing that I knew exactly where you're going, where typically a team like that would kind of crash a fight, get their surge that way. They realize how close they actually are. And if you look at some of their games, 8th, 6th, 2nd, they only had one bad game where it's 22nd with 1 elim. So they realize as long as they can kind of take little notes, those recipes from the first 3 earlier games, get towards the end game, the rest should be a little bit easier. Not everybody having that luxury, though, as you see them still kind of bunkered down in this position. The 2 victors, essentially, of the previous fights that we were watching, still within 1 box away from another, just outside.
Yeah, the zone's been a bit weird today, Jess. They made some tough-ass zones today, bro.
Rotate. That's one of the things is you're going to have to rotate first if you're one of these teams, and you just got to be very, very careful not to take too much free damage when you do finally make that rotation.
There's a team not giving any
Dev,
free damage.
Veto's already
Cam,
claimed Masting Grands,
Focus,
bro.
Bucke,
So Savage makes Grands, he's
219
going to have to do it
points they've
Veto.
made. We'll be seeing them in the finals, undoubtedly. What is this? What is this gross angle they're playing right now, trying to catch someone off guard right here?
What they're doing right now is they're hoping somebody comes in from outside of Storm with a water sprite that has maybe 1 or 2 charges. They go to recharge it at the shrine, and that's what the angle Bucke was looking for. Not really seeing anybody rotate in that direction. They're just going to quickly reposition. They don't want to be hunkered down too far deep, especially since they look over towards Mass Meadows. They hear and see multiple teams towards the backside of zone, and to them, they just smell opportunities at Surge.
A lot of teams situated. And backward nerf faces trio.
Proud as fucking Bucke. He's done well today, man.
Right now.
Like I said, I feel like the broadcast hasn't hyped it up too much, but IGLing double control the trio, man. That's even more impressive.
The surge is active. One team's gonna fall
In an era of Fortnite where most IGLs don't want a single controller player, playing with 2 is very impressive.
About that. They're 3 elims above. Looking just fine. Taking a nice little rotate here underneath the.
Ooh, here we go. Clix already got 1 kill.
Yamzo and Higgs.
Well, Yamzo got the kill.
Getting into the fight. This is up against a mini. And Riven.
No, it's Riven. No. Oh, Yamzo. Wait a second. Hold up. Wait a second. If we die here. Wait.
Has to play rescue now.
Wait.
Mini beams thinking about coming back for the siphon. Come down to keep Yamzo capped off here.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
That third party, Dorito and his trio again here in the noise outside his zone. They're coming in. Crash it. Clix looking to get aggressive. While they have a little bit of an advantage since they did get Yamzo up. Amendment smoke going down. Clix is going to try to utilize that. That was a mini beans on the other side as a couple of shots are going to land. No knock just yet. Just the shield going outside.
Bro, this infiltrator is just really struggling. Oh, never mind. Infiltrator is totally fine. Never mind. It's good. It's fine.
Another mistake and
oh, wait. Rekko's team triple lurking in, though.
And now they see Riven by himself a solo, and they're going to pressure all 3 together, take them down, and put that team right back to the wall.
Oh, the gold splash to get in. Oh, shit.
At least this is good that they're earning points right now because the chunk splashes are starting to come through. The gold splash effect is on Dorito area.
Another trio out here as well.
We're now looking to press the issue, but there's another trio as well here. It is not looking good for Clix, Higgs, and Yamzo here, who have all of this attention attracted out of nowhere. And yes, they may have found the extra mats here, but it's all going straight to defensive use here to try to stay in the game. Vibes, Lush, and Zexy here actually are pretty desperate right now, forced to take tags, so a little bit of a
what is happening? I'm pretty sure Clix is qual now with those 4 kills, right? Or 3 kills. I think we're chilling.
Oh, so like they didn't think this one through when they immediately tried to push
Clix
towards
is good
the
now.
backside of the zone. There's kind of pulling further and further towards the south. Yamzo, Higgs, Clix.
It's gonna be close. It's really hard to know. It depends on whether like a team like Bugha gets a win and it rolls down or not.
And they're going to go ahead all the way towards that eastern side, try to make that slow rotation over. Bugha, rapid threat.
Yeah, I don't think it's guaranteed. You're right. I don't think it's safe yet.
Over in their direction. They've been able to utilize that.
They might already have enough, but they might not.
Single team, almost every single team.
Most damage done. W Bugha.
Above the threshold. You see they're leading every team.
L Bugha.
11,000 damage in this game.
They just can't seem to get a break right now. Clix, Yamzo, Higgs really struggling.
Bro, no way Bugha's team's in Storm here holding, man.
You know, just setback after setback right now. Clix is the
biggest
last in line there.
Oh, boy.
Yamzo just squeezing away. Clix jumps down under that bridge there. Don't go up. Don't do that, yeah.
Do they have any white meds? They've got the vending machine, but the vending machine's under Bugha.
Rapid threats in Bugha.
Doesn't Bugha in this game? Nah, Bugha's chilling.
Actually hit firing, by the way, 4 surge tags there. He sure was. Kind of crazy.
No, I think that's a replay bug.
This goes down. That means Threats knows. Threats knows. He saw the knock. It's just, do they stay? Do they worry about it? With how weak they actually
This has
are
been a
down below,
very
but
rough
they have
group
a
for
lot of
Clix at
extra
this point.
heals up above. Remember, they have the vault. They had access. They can buy more out of these machines. That Yamzo sees at least one med kit left behind.
I don't think they can. I think they're running out of. I think they're out of stock. I think they're out of stock.
Not enough gold for the patch up either, so he's really going to be relying on whatever Yamzo has on his inventory and whatever they find.
Oh
along the way.
boy, this is oh boy.
They couldn't pick him up. It wasn't worth sitting around. They got to worry about moving to the new storm line.
Okay, well then.
Look, hey, like I said, there's 3 eliminations.
This is intense.
Extremely important. It puts them at 200 points now, right? They could have been at 191, which would have surely raised some concerns. But 200 feels a little bit better. Shots coming in the distance, and that's from Threats there. Higgs now forced to fight back here. This could be a great opportunity for him to find something. He's got to go all in.
So just so you guys know, groups last week was 210. So if this was group 1, Clix would not have qualled. So
he's waiting for it. Oh no!
Oh, exit Higgs, baby! 203. More points, more points. That could be the difference.
99 Siphon's gonna keep him alive and healthy for now as well. This is a great opportunity for the Exet Higgs right now. Again, making his debut on this stage here.
Oh boy, this is looking sketchy. 203, huh?
Is his now for Threats.
I mean, what we really need now, if you're a Clix fan, is you want someone above them. You want Bucke, Bugha, you want Uziak or Blake to get a win, basically. Those, because if one of them gets a win, that frees up a consistency spot. So you really want one of those 5 teams to get a win.
Exactly what you're seeing here.
Come on, Bugha. Come on, Bucke. Oh, Higgs goes down. Higgs goes down. 203.
Is kind of covered up.
We're down on 203. We have to sit back and wait and hope that is enough to qualify. Oh boy.
That's going to be the strategy as they start to make their way on over.
Wow, we got a spicy finish on our hands. Holy crap. Oh, that was EU was 210. NA was 195. Sorry, you're right. NA is a little bit lower. Sorry, EU was 210. So 195, but I mean, if you're looking at it right now, 158 would have to jump up. So it's going to have to be really unlucky for them not to qual. All these teams are going to have to not get a win, but Nox is going to have to get like a high kill second, and Blake's going to have to get like a, yeah.
The king with the
wait, what's wrong? What did Cam do? Cam can't enter the wall? Oh, so I was looking at the leaderboard at the wrong time, was I? Cam couldn't enter the wall.
New storm there. It's going to be nice and easy for them, up and over.
I'll go back and look at it later.
Those kneecappers. Looking at things from the
side. Focus on the leaderboard. Cam's already qualified. Chill on my man. I also say this because I'm going to be looking like that in the Pro-Am, so please be gentle. Hey, sometimes it doesn't matter, you know? Sometimes taking time on the end, it's all good. He didn't die because of it, it's fine. It's happened to all of us. Don't pretend it hasn't.
Oh, look at the lurk.
I'm just wondering if Bugha Threats Rapid even saw that. We know on the other side of the map, they know they're lurking nearby, but you see the western side of the zone overall.
All right, 203 for Clix. And we've got a team on, we got 10 places on 158 going into this game, so we should be good, but okay, if teams like Bugha start going down without doing well, then it's getting scarier. Because we're not overtaking Bugha.
The lack of resources is the most alarming part of this situation, as Rapid finds elimination on the
they qual easy. It's definitely not zoned easy. What do you mean, bro? If Bucke goes down here as well now, this is very, very doable. They don't qual.
Zone pulls far south. Like, this is perfect for Maniac and Fuse's team, who had the opportunity to watch that go down and then get a relatively free pass for the rotate there. Noxie, though, what happened here?
We want Bucke to win. If you're a Clix fan, you want Bucke to win.
Virgo and Mason are down.
Come on.
Noxie to try to clutch this one out solo.
This is good, though. This is good. Noxie struggling here is very good. Yeah, okay. This is really good for Clix.
In this game, he just needs to pick up as many solo
this is
points
good.
as possible.
This is good.
And hope and pray any of those teams above him on the leaderboard that are in the bubble win the game, because that would open up a spot at the bottom of the leaderboard, and they are that spot. So there's a lot of pressure.
There's Blake. Blake's looking healthy, though. Blake could overtake Clix.
Luckily for him, 672 above the damage threshold. For him, it's going to be a monumental focus on getting from point A to point B, not taking too many risks and challenges, and just survive.
I'm not paying on Noxie's downfall.
Rapid still alive on the outskirts here, just riding their way through ever so slightly. High Ground has a whole new trio up top. It's Nerdface's team trying to go back.
I picked Noxie to quell, man.
They had a chance
I put
to
Noxie
win
in my
the game
top
before.
5.
They're looking to see if they can do it again. The Tick, Fuse, and Maniac, though, are in position right now to go to finals if they can just
Come on,
weather this
Fuse.
storm.
Come on, Fuse.
In this zone, it doesn't get more dangerous than this. Half of it's in the water. It's going to force artificial congestion here on the land map where, you know, usually you'd have a little bit of a spread going here, but forget that. Meanwhile, on height, much different situation happening here. This time they
Yeah, the odds are good for
have
Clix right now, for sure. I'm not trying to pretend they're not, but I don't want people to think there's 100% guaranteed Clix quals, because it's not.
You thought no hills, no mountains in the zone. Fortnite said, but wait, we got one more as it goes back.
We're going to Kappa Kappa.
Towards the Kappa Kappa factories. Not as drastic as some of the other games, but it's definitely going to play an impact. As High Ground right now still dominated by Vortex, Bacon, and Nerdface. They have not looked
Mommy's
back
good
at
boy
that
on the High Ground
opportunity.
chat.
Down
Gone but
below
not
Great
forgotten.
Sales, sitting
He
at
almost won
9
game 1. Can he
below
win
the
game
damage
5?
threshold. It's not alarming right now, but sooner or later, they're going to have to figure out where they're going to get that damage. And right now, it does look like Noxie's the target. We know he's a solo. He's getting some placement points, but it's not enough yet.
Yeah, Noxie's still holding on here. 167, still making a run for it.
Come on. I don't know what's happened today, bro. This is a very, very weird group. This is not how I saw this playing out at all.
Difficult situation ahead of them, but they're working through the low ground. Noxie just watching what's happening.
Ooh, Blake might be able to overtake here.
For an opportunity, they're going to break through this wall here. It's Fuse in front of them. This is everything. This is both their tournament opportunities on the line right now.
Come on, Fuse. Come on, Blake. If Noxie somehow does this, though, Noxie being a solo really helps Clix. If Noxie goes down here below 203, I think that just fully seals the deal. Clix is chilling, no matter what happens.
All clashing right here, right now.
Oh,
Bucky's
for
gonna
Bucke.
knock on the one. Oh, his spot all but secured 240 points, and he is just crushing
Nice,
hopes,
Bucke.
crushing dreams on his way to the finish line. 714 damage for them. Not a singular worry in the world as they make it.
Haven't seen. Has Noxie gone down? Oh, Maniac's now a duo, though. Noxie's still solo.
Everybody else just trying to make their way in. Noxie with a
I mean,
good shot on the
33
one,
points
but
here
he
as a
has to
solo
try
would
to
be
make his
absurd
way
from
out.
Noxie.
There's only so long he can stay in this situation, and he
Nice,
try to make it
Noxie.
happen as he gets the down. Siphon comes in. Noxie, it's still alive.
He's still going, and now he's trying to heal his
Maniac
way
and
through this
Fuse
one.
trying to do it too.
I can't believe
Maniac and
Noxie is
Fusiac.
still
186.
holding on right now.
Wait, this is so good for
14
Clix.
games. He is
Nah, Clix is chilling. Clix is chilling. Based on how much all these teams are shot. Yeah, nah. With Blake down on solo. Clix made it, baby. Let's go. But who can do it? Who's going to get the last few spots? Ooh, 175. That might be enough for Blake. Wait, Noxie's actually clutching up big right now, man. 174 here.
No one is safe just yet for consistency here. Big tags coming out here. Kneecap.
What is happening?
On both sides. And oh no.
Oh shit! That was clean as fuck. Oh my god, Carillion just got shit on.
Carillion goes down.
Oh my god, do it again.
They're on the bubble and they're trying to burst their
That
way
was
in.
sick.
It's all up to one solo player monster. 186.
186. It's Mommy's good boy. Go, Mommy's good boy. You can do it. We sold game 1 qual. We're doing it in game 5. 182. I think that should be quals for them. Fuse has done it too. Wait a second. Wait. 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 They're actually overtaking Clix. Wait. 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 Is Mommy's good boy about to knock out Clix? 202? 205? Wait. Hold the fuck up. Wait.
Big eliminations happening here for Nerdface's trio. They're still in the running. Siphon keeping him alive. He doesn't know which way to go. Up or down. Players in his box. He's gonna fall.
I think we've had like 4 teams, like 3 teams to overtake Clix. Clix is going to be coming 10th at best, or he doesn't qual. Wait, they're 198 too. Wait, if this team, this is it. If this team, wait, but if they win, they can't wait. If they win, then they go grands. Wait.
What is happening here?
198. Wait, I think that was it. I think that's it for Clix. I think if that team somehow got more than Clix, it was over. Bro, what is happening? How are we talking about Clix maybe not making it out of this group?
this smoke. He needs to be able to play this right, but Sandman on the high ground, full control over the game.
Oh my god, finish just so I can check the leaderboard.
Is going to have to make their way up the mountain.
Oh my god, W1v1. The clutch. Nice. Wait, does he have the heal off though? Wait.
It's going to come down to
wait, who
Sandman.
quals? Which one? Oh, Sand.
The heal off. He goes in, tries to slide in, and gets another shot.
Sand to the grands, baby.
Stops the heal off and makes his way to the finals.
W.
Talk about putting it all on the table.
All right, fuck. I'm checking. I'm checking. Nah, I gotta check. I can't. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. Oh my fucking god. Okay, Aussie, what are you doing? It's of course they qualify. Holy shit. 5 points. Less than 2 eliminations is what Clix just made it to grands through. Holy shit, that was close. That is... Damn, that is way too close. 203 and 11th was 198. 5 points. Less than 2 elims is what we just made grands by for one of our top 3 teams. Damn. I mean, they had some kind of meme deaths with the bat and stuff, but yeah, rough day in the office for Clix. If Zip got second that game and not third, Clix doesn't qual by 1 point. Oh my god. Well, the margins were extremely close. Holy shit. That is an insane finish. So we had Dolzier, Sandman, Enough, Muzz, and Twanty getting the 5 wins. And then we had Bucke, W, Rapid, The Tick, Vortec, and Clix. Slepsy just misses out. Noxy just misses out, bro. Noxy was clutching, though. Oh my god. That was absurdly close. Wow.
Who was consistent and who's going
so wait, who won the last one there? It was Sandman and... Fine, we'll make a sand, chat. If you guys want some V-Bucks, chat, we'll make the word sand. But I'll make it nice and quick. This one will be like 30 seconds. Go.
First off,
S-A-N-D, sand.
Congratulations. Sand the Elite, Xanda.
Let me see what the prediction was. Who was it for the prediction? I don't even know who it was.
Going to the FNCS.
Prediction was...
Next week, we're excited to see you there.
Fusiac? Yeah, this time I won't call Fusiac wrong.
This was an all-out battle.
This time I won't call Fusiac wrong.
The last moments of this game. And the points...
Oh my god, Fuse to his first chance, baby. Good shit, Fuse.
We'll get to that in a moment.
Oh my lordy, what a finish, bro.
A second to kind of tell me what you thought about that game. What'd you think?
I mean, I love it. I love it when one of these underdog teams is able to come out on top and get that victory royale. And it kind of seemed like the last 4.
All right, 5 more seconds, chat. We'll call the same giveaway because I want to talk. Because oh my god, that was a spicy finish.
Teams, so an opportunity for them to shine in the light a little bit. But it was Sand that shined the brightest there, going for the final elimination. Look how long he had to be a solo player. It might have been a little bit of a benefit for him though, that it seemed like almost
damn, he was a solo for a while.
Trio.
What a clutch.
Yeah, I mean, this was crazy, right? 1v2 to clinch up the finals.
Damn, this was an insane clutch.
And actually, yeah, like Kelly was mentioning, a lot of these teams that were actually in the very end of this game were teams that needed that win. Gavin,
that last Elan by Higgs, yeah.
So this was the 1v1. One of these trios was going to the finals. One was not. Sandman.
All right, 1 sec. Let me see Cam going crazy. Sorry, Cam. My chat is demanding this. I'm not doing this. Because it's definitely gonna be, this is gonna be at the Pro Am too, so I just want to make sure I'm not being a fucking dick here. Everyone's just blaming me for missing it. Wait, which part was it?
Looking at that map, I see one so on the back. Could be Higgs there.
It's after this, right? It's about now, or is it back? Did I miss it?
Drum gun here in the group stage.
Back.
So really all dependent that they do you see in strategy to make their way on of teams take control of the rest of that zone towards the outside. So timing for them is of the essence.
Okay, here.
If they really want to capture that position overall, Bucke, Okus, Cam, same thing for them. But their journey is not as far and almost not.
What even edit was he trying to do, bro? He wasn't even fucking close. What the fuck? We were like creating edits, dude. I don't even know what we're trying to do.
So the question is, was that enough? Was it enough for Noxy? Noxy playing as a solo had to fight his way through for a very long time. Was it enough? Someone like Blake, right? Blake we knew was in and out, in and out. Let's take a look at these standings together. Remember, just look at the top 10 and up.
Yo, the Bucke photo.
Oh, perfect graphic. First off, of course.
Why can I tell that's Bucke, but I swear it's not Bucke? Why does it look nothing like Bucke? Like, I know it's Bucke, but I swear that's not Bucke. It's like AI-generated Bucke. Why does it look nothing like Bucke? What the fuck? Oh, Aesthetic is how I'm supposed to be saying it. Okay.
Crazy. Because
why is Bucke looking like that, bro? It's confusing my brain.
Do make it in with 200.
I can't tell what's off.
Points. That was so stressful.
It's the eyes. Is it the eyes? Something's weird, bro.
Right.
Yo, Bucky got like a lot of gas on the broadcast today, though.
How close it got. It was a difference of only 5 points that could have pulled them out of that top 5. This is a nail biter. This is a nail biter. This was a tough one.
Yeah, I'll go back and listen to Clix's stream and see what I've just missed.
I was like, oh, it's obvious. Clix has won. There's no concern here. He has 200 points. And you guys were saying, no, that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to make it. And, you know, the group 1 point threshold.
I see, fine, let's see. Where's the chat? How bad? Where are we talking? Here, after here, before here? Is it meant to be 0 audio? Oh, is it copyrighted?
We called.
Oh, there we go.
No, bro, all I'm gonna say, like, we're fucking terrible. Like, I'm not even joking. I'm, like, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, is he taking the delay off here or something? Oh, here we go.
Hello? I think the delay's off, yeah? Yeah, I think delay's off. Yeah, we qualified. We qualified by like 5 points. Nonetheless, a fucking the most embarrassing thing I ever witnessed in my life. Like, actually disgusting, but nonetheless, a wake-up call. Nonetheless, strats need to be changed. Every single thing needs to be changed. I mean, just a bunch of bullshit, bro. You know? Just a bunch of bullshit, pathetic, nonetheless. But I really don't even know if I'm gonna stream scrims the whole week. Like, I actually just might not stream until Grands. I'm not even trolling. Like, that is like actually just insane. So it doesn't even matter if we got grief last game. We didn't have good enough drops. Random teams out dropping us for our own POI. Full of embarrassment. I'm ending stream. I'm fucking pissed. Yeah, we qualified. Like, it's just fucking stupid. Top 3 team in the region, qualifying by 5 points. Like, fuck out of here. I don't know when I'll be live. I love you.
Damn, I mean, we're taking accountability. No excuses. Goddamn. I mean, I respect it. I was going to try and sugarcoat it personally, because I don't like flaming people, because they're all much better than me, but it is definitely an underperformance. There's no way you can cut it where it's not an underperformance, so wow. Okay. Respectable response, honestly.
Group in terms of how many FNCS finals appearances all of these players combined have versus group 1. And
one of those days. I mean, hey, wake up call, but you still qual. Not the worst thing to happen.
Throughout the day, and we also got the
could help them overall for Grands, be less complacent. It might make them really motivated this week.
Very exciting. Group 2 definitely delivered. Makes me that much more excited for Group 3 tomorrow.
Ooh, boy, tomorrow is a big day because that'll start to round out. It'll give us another 10 trios going on to finals. But don't forget, it's not over. We still have a last chance qualifier, okay? So if your favorite trio doesn't make it in tomorrow or hasn't yet at this point, there's still the LCQ. There is still hope.
LCQ!
We never back down. Never give
up. Oh, yeah, we got the same reaction. Yeah.
Right?
Chat, I don't know why you guys just don't post it, though.
Love you, Nick.
Like, you guys just keep doing this. Like, why don't we post it?
EU is taking place. They'll have their group 3 before
you guys just start
us,
spamming it, bro.
If you
Can't someone
want
just
to watch
link it?
more Fortnite, go check them out. And as always, Pro-Am still a thing, happening May 10th. Tickets are available. We hope to see you guys there. Until tomorrow, we love you. Keep yourself safe. We'll see you on that battle bus.
Beep, beep. Okay, we got yeah. I don't know why you guys don't just post like just I can go grab it. It's great when you give me the whole Twitter name, but yeah, just link it in.
You gotta spray. You gotta spray. He's low. He's low.
Beep beep.
He's still low. Don't worry.
Minis. You have minis. They're gonna die. You gotta build up. Build up. They're gonna die. Yeah, they have no heals. I don't think. They have no heals. Here. They have no heals. You can run back. You can like it. Nice.
Nice.
You gotta go. He has heals. He has heals.
The squealing, bro. We whiffed that first pump, though. We whiffed the first pump, though. That was almost mad stressful, bro. That was almost very stressful. That was almost very, very stressful. Whew. They're very happy that you can tell what it means to them. Hell yeah. Like, is there so many? Wait, what's up, Feldy? Their ass fell out of their pants when he got hit back. Prime Bucke, yeah, bro. Bucke played great. All right, so we had so again, chat. There's our leaderboard. Dolzier, Sandman, enough. Muzz and 20 getting the wins. Bucky, Rapid, Thetic, Vortec, and Clix. Close one, bro. Close one. Did Mommy's boy make it? No, that's Vorteca. Wait. No, they did. Wait. No. Yeah, Vortec. Yeah, he did. Yeah, nice. Sorry. Mommy's good boy made it. I'm like, yeah. I mean, so funny if Clix didn't call. I wouldn't say it's funny, bro. I mean, you want like people now I'm gonna say like, oh, you want one of the top 3 teams to be in Grands. People are not top 3, they're just fun calls. Like, it's one of those days, man. I like the accountability. It is what it is. Everyone has off days. I think Clix talking about not playing for the win because they wanted more practice might have kind of like been a weird vibe shift the whole time. You know what I mean? You're kind of playing to not the best of your ability from the get-go, which is going to make you start to lose momentum, and then you start to panic a little bit. I'm guessing is kind of what happened. I didn't really get to like see exactly what happened, but yeah. Where's Quanti? Quanti didn't qual, man. My Monoxy Mason Virgo prediction was wrong, chat. I only picked 5 and I couldn't even get 5 right, bro. Virgo, Noxy, Mason have failed me. I got the rest right, though. But yeah, who else do we have? So we had Mason didn't make it. Blake, no. Carillion. Byla's team. Quanti. Damn, there's some good teams that didn't make it out of this group, bro. What's up, Yoxic? An interesting day, Yoxic. I mean, hey, you might have the week off, bro. Let's fucking go. Woo, week off, Yoxic. Let's go. Same life for Star Wars announcement 30. I mean, bro, I'm so tired. Like, okay, what is the Star Wars announcement supposed to be like? Is it going to be like a shitty ass like panel for like 45 minutes of them talking about, like, is it like, what's it supposed to be? It will not be worth it. Season 3 trailer, yes, but is it the end of it? It's a panel and then a trailer. Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, chat, I've already been live for 10 hours. I've got a family gathering thing for Easter. I'm going to call it, chat, only because